Hello everybody and welcome to the next round of the NARAS Cup Series here, the FireWorks 250 here from Daytona. 120 laps this time around to go along with the Daytona 500, 120 laps earlier on in the season. 40 lap stages as well, 1, 2 and 3, and just 4 races away from the playoffs. It's a very exciting time indeed as we take you through the action. Myself, Ian O'Leary, James Parfitt along with you again back at Daytona for the second time this season. As I say, just 4 weeks away from the round of 16 playoffs beginning on the 8th of March. Good to be alongside you for this one, James. Daytona is always an exciting place to come. It feels slightly odd knowing that this is a very common place to come actually at this time of year, but we're not coming here for the first time. This is, of course, round number 13 of our championship as we get ever closer to the postseason.
Yeah, it's really getting hotting up currently at this moment in time in this one, and I think this is going to be... It's Daytona. As much as I'd love to sit here and say we're not going to get any cautions, I feel there might have been some. So we'll have to see how it goes. Bobby Rafferty taking the win last time out at Watkins Glen. Now, that was very interesting indeed. I don't like NASCAR on a road circuit in general, to be honest. It drives me absolutely crazy. We are just coming to the end of practice before we go into qualifying to see who can get on the front row. So going to be exciting one, this one.
Yeah, qualifying's not that interesting, but
No.
It's just driving around in a circle, to be fair. But let's have a look at the points in the meantime. Of course, it is not only about points. It is about those race wins, and 6 drivers have won themselves into the playoffs so far. You need to win and be in the top 25 in the points standings to get yourself into the playoffs. The rest of them on points at the moment. With 4 rounds to go, including this one, Ryan Peters is almost... mathematically in through points, which doesn't happen very often this far out, but he's 142 points above the cut line. As you can see further down, it gets very close. I get the feeling that Douglas Hess is probably the last driver who can actually realistically make his way in here. There's only 5 points below the cut line. Joshua Hahn is, for example, 54 points behind, and everybody else even further. So it is probably difficult for them to get in, but still pretty close for those points, and this round especially could be the last chance for some to realistically make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, Josh Hahn is here today, so we'll see how he gets on and whether or not he can make it through. I think it's going to be a tall order, you are right. I think for him, in general, he's really got to produce a win out the bag. Now, we are at Daytona, so literally anything could happen. You could start at the back and you can come all the way to the front. That's just Daytona in general and super speedways. But for Hahn, he's got to go in and be a little bit sensible about how he handles this, because he does not want to get himself caught up in any dramatics. So hopefully for Hahn, he'll be able to get up and running and be able to take the victory. We'll have to see how he gets on here.
A couple of drivers are currently with race wins, but below the cut line as of right now in terms of making the playoffs. As I say, you've got to be in the top 25 as well as winning a race. It's not enough to just win. Travis Butt is one of them, and Bobby Rafferty the other. The interesting thing for them is that Butt is only, 12 points off the 25th position, and he could very much get there by the end of the season. And Bobby Rafferty is only 41 points behind. With 4 rounds to go, both of those could realistically make it, but at the moment they're not in this race, and it just makes you wonder how many of the races to come they're actually going to be in to come for the rest of the season, because if they do turn up, they've got a really good chance of getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You know, we've got Darlington coming up, we've got the Indianapolis, we've got Richmond. If they can at least turn up for 2 out of the 3 of them, there is a chance that they could get in. But I don't know if they're going to be if they turn up. That's the problem. So we'll just have to see what goes on with them guys. But I think realistically, it is kind of at this moment in time, Joshua Hahn, maybe John Lewis might be able to get there. But again, with doing mathematics and making sure that you can qualify in, it's going to be tough. And if you are not showing up for races, then you can't really moan about not getting in there.
We could, but would be your fault as well.
Well, yeah, exactly. If they ain't going to show up, then it ain't going to matter, is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing about this this series. As I mentioned, the others are probably locked in now, even though Owen Lax is down in 14th overall in the points. I think he'll be fine to hold on to the top 25 as the checker flag is waving because some of them have finished their lap times. Not everybody, though. Zachary Tyler has not finished his lap yet. So he's running around the top. This is actually his out lap, so we're going to get a good chance here to see 2 laps here, and just what it takes to get that up in the end of the first lap, I should say, and then the start of the main one. Here we go. On board, I'd say there is a lot to it, but there is actually more in terms of what to watch. In terms of the drive, it is actually a little bit more. You want to get as close to that apron as possible while being as smooth as possible on the steering, don't scrub the tyres, and definitely do not hit the apron.
Yeah, that's the thing, and you want to carry as much speed as you physically can. It's very hard on qualifying because you don't really get above 185. If anything, it's sort of 79, 83 area, but in the race you're topping well above 185 because of the draft. But that's the makeup of how Daytona is. This is the thing. You know, and it's all very draft dependent. You can take this, you can go around the inside if you can get there and see how he gets on. It goes into second, so good job from Zachary starting off in second place.
Douglas Hess is out there at the moment as well as things stand. Douglas Hess at the moment right on that cut line as far as the points goes. Just 5 points between him and Aaron Esp, who is just outside, or just inside, I should say, of those points, of that top 16. We get to the round of 16, of course. That will be coming at Chicagoland on the 8th of March. First round of 3 in the round of 16 as S makes his way over the line now and starts from 10th. So he's gotten off to a decent start, and with still 4.5 minutes to go, the qualifying session is almost over here. There's Corey Rainey, John Lewis and Blake Witkowski on the pit lane at the moment, but they're not leaving pit lane. I wonder whether they will qualify late on or whether they are just going to start from the back.
Probably just going to start from the back. It's really weird because qualifying in ovals at tracks like this don't really mean anything. It's like Dago. You don't need a qualifying at Dago. You could just put everybody out there and go for it. Because of the fact it's just so unpredictable. This is the thing. And you get caught up and you can move your way forward, and being at the front doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do well, and being at the back doesn't necessarily mean you're going to finish there. So for me, at certain tracks, qualifying, it's a little bit irrelevant. I've got to be honest. I think it's just, okay, you're there, but you qualified pole, but now you've got to finish pole, and that's not always easy when you're on a super speedway.
Oh, it certainly isn't. So we have a look at Daytona from the air. See if the session moves on in these next 3 minutes, or whether we'll just have to wait. 3 stages, as always, evenly spaced actually this week for the first time in a couple of weeks since Kentucky. We had 150 laps split into 3 50-lap stages. The fact it's 3 40-lap stages, it's pretty interesting to me because that effectively alleviates any need to pit under green here today.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. They're going to be able to go all the way through the stage without having any issues, as well, saying any issues. If they crash, obviously, they've got to go and get repaired. But other than that, they should just be able to run straight to each one. Now, you can run green to checkered here, obviously with stage breaks in the middle, but you can run green to checkered as long as you're sensible. If you're going to come in with the attitude at Daytona, well, I'm just going to go full flat, and somebody gets a little bit squirrely in front of you and you just run him over, well, can you really moan that there's a yellow flag? That's the problem. But what you kind of want to do is just lift a little bit, lift and then carry on. Lift and survive another day. Don't go and try and run the person over because they've got a little bit loose. And I've been in plenty of officials at Daytona, and the driving standards, yeah, let's just say it's better in league racing.
Although, having said that, I've been run over in a Daytona race while we were running single file on a JPB broadcast.
You did.
So there you go.
And we saw it.
That was very rude. I was not best pleased about that. I don't even think a caution came out. Well, maybe it did, but anyway, it didn't matter too much to me. I was not completely damaged. Obviously, fast repair, but I was emotionally damaged. That's for sure.
Well, yeah. I've been on the inside line, and I've got a little bit up to the outside, like a little bit squirrely coming off the inside, and I've ended up pushing up into the middle lane, and then all of a sudden, I've tried to bring it back down because not expecting the car who's got and put two wheels on the apron to try and come underneath me, and he's just chopped me straight off and sent me spinning. And then the fateful words of, well, that's what you get for moving over the radio. You're like, right, you didn't want to lift just because, you know, you can see that people have been getting squarely in front. No, it's... I don't know, Daytona and officials, the Dayga and any super speedway drives me absolutely bonkers because it's just the biggest IRSR killer over the week, to be honest with you. Fun to do if you can find it green to green, Ewan, but that don't happen very often.
Absolutely. Corey Rainey, by the way, is the reason why we're not advancing the session just yet. Wanted to wait for everybody else to go first before he made his way up towards the line here, and I guess you can understand why as he makes his way over the line there. What's his time? Oh, there you go. So waits for the very last moment, knows exactly what he had to do, and then gets pole by 28 thousandths of a second. That is very smart driving indeed at the end there. He very nearly left it late. As you can see, the time runs out as he makes his way into turn one there, but he's made it, and he's got pole position for this race. In that case, the warm-up session is going to begin, and everyone gets used to having other people around them all over again. But yeah, that was very well calculated from Corey Rainey to, first of all, time your run in terms of when you get out onto the circuit and so on, and also when you actually or where you actually go when you get out there. That was very well done.
Yeah, I think it's important that he has done that, and he's got to take a pole position. And for him, fair play to him. You know, we can have a look at the qualifying results and see who is where for out the race.
So 18 have entered and 16 have set times. Corey Rainey, the first of them, 25 thousandths ahead of Zachary Tyler. Joshua Hahn in third place, out of NJ Palmer in fourth. Just a thousandth of a second further behind is Owen Lax, followed by Kenneth Coulson with Aaron Esp in seventh place. Stephen Gill is eighth ahead of John Waugh and David Moyer, the final driver, within a tenth of a second of the pole position. Douglas Hess finishes 11th, then of Gino Volanti with Jordan Parker 13th. Pretty surprising to see him all the way down there for Parker. He will be right in the midfield. Joseph Klein alongside him to start with. Christian Mullen in 15th place with Lucas Lewis at the final driver to set a time. Then Blake Witkowski and John Lewis to bring up the rear. We'll see if they actually get going here in this race start or not, because as we say, we never know really when they don't qualify whether they will race or not. I thought there'd be a few people willing to get out onto the circuit in warm-up and do a bit of driving, but clearly not.
It's only full flat, turning left, right? Well, they got to go out and practice. They ain't got to do nothing. They ain't got to warm up anything. You just go out, turn left, don't hit anything. There you go. James Parfitt's philosophy on NASCAR.
Pretty, well, it's easier said than done, but it's a good one.
It is, but it's true, isn't it? The interesting thing for me will be the fact that we've got Espy, Hahn, and Lucas Lewis there, and also John Lewis, I should say. So John, Josh, and Aaron are obviously within that playoffs, and Douglas at the same time. So we've got 16th, 18th, 19th, all in the hunt here, with 15th of Aaron Espy hanging on. So this could be a vital race for them guys, I think.
It certainly is. They're so close on points. It is every point matters at this stage now for those guys, and that is improved once again here with this event. Only 4 to go now before the playoffs, and this is the last of those really weird circuits, I think, in the run towards the playoffs. The next round is at Darlington, then it is Indianapolis after the week off for the Daytona 500. Then we have got Indianapolis and Richmond to bring us to the round of 16. So for those drivers who are looking to want to get away from all of this points business and suddenly get themselves in confirmed, you know, if you're inside the top 25, but you're not quite confirmed just yet, then it seems like the last opportunity, really, where things are really unpredictable for you to go and take a win. There's plenty of drivers who might well see this as their last chance to get into the playoffs.
You are right. That's the thing. And if they have turned out here, they've got to put on a good show. They've got to make sure that they can get to the end, because we're going to a completely different track as in Darlington next time out. So it's not even remotely in the same kind of format as this, you know, and it's going to be a lot harder. It's only a mile and a half. You've got a high banking at 25 and 22 degrees. Yeah, Darlington's a different kettle of fish to Daytona. Personally, for me, I would have wanted to be locked in way before this. Way before this. Even if I come out at Daygo that we had a while back, and Daytona towards the beginning, you know, anything else other than trying to get locked in with Indianapolis, Darlington and Richmond. They're not ideal, but hey, these drivers have made their decisions, so as the saying goes, you made your bed, you're going to have to lie in it.
And it's also not as easy as just wanting to go through, of course, as well. You got to actually do it, which is far easier said than done. So it is difficult to say that these drivers wouldn't have wanted to come through and take the playoffs already, but it's not quite as simple as that. Look at them all down a pit lane there, not driving around in warm-up, but they're just in the session anyway. I don't really know why, but anyway, I would have thought they wanted to run around with other people, but I guess that's what practice was for a little bit earlier on, and they're just waiting for the race start now.
Yeah, I think you know, there might be a little bit of a driver briefing going on at the same time. Jordan reading them the riot act, because obviously, you know, it's Daytona and you need to behave yourself, and I don't think they need practice. I think they can just go for it. That's it. That's my thing. I don't know. I wouldn't be going out, to be honest with you. I'd probably just be sat back chilling, drinking a cup of coffee or something.
Okay.
Would you be then? Well, sorry. What did you say?
It would make me need a wee probably if I was doing that, drinking too much before the race. So that's another problem. Yeah, I would. Well, not if no one else was out there. To be fair, I'd want that practice of other people around me again. But then again, I go to our previous point. If everyone's just been doing that in practice, that you know they're not going to be particularly willing to go out during this session, where you know that the practice session was only 10 minutes ago. They can definitely still remember what they were doing in practice, and so they'll be pretty comfortable heading towards the race. And maybe these drivers have more experience at Daytona as well than me, which is entirely possible. So you know, it is understandable that these drivers might not want to waste any time out there on the circuit, and indeed just chilling, as you say, waiting for the race. But yeah, I can't believe there's no one who would like to practice driving with other people around again after the qualifying session.
Look, they're all heading out now. There you go. Look, they've all appeased you, Mr. O'Leary, just on cue. There you go. Some people are starting to go out for you, but I don't know. Warm-up's funny. It's the same on a road circuit. Do you really need to go? Do you not really need to go? Do you just sit back and chill out? I don't know. Everybody's different. I don't go out for warm-up. If I've done enough practice and I've, you know, feel comfortable when I've done qualifying, then I wouldn't have gone out to warm up either, to be honest with you.
Well, there's a group of 5 or so of them now who've made their way out, and here we go. They start to get lined up. Somebody at the back there has got been caught a bit short. Not number 29. They're a long way back, and indeed a couple of others are making their way out onto the circuit a little bit further back. But this is the kind of racing that we're going to see over the course of the day, and well, with a bigger group than 5, that's for sure. Should be 18 getting us underway to begin with. And See how aggressive they are to begin with in this race. Not much time to get settled in here at Daytona with the stages. Look at the runs they get as well on the back straight here. Big shove. This is the kind of thing we're going to be seeing. This is the kind of thing you get at Daytona. It's our second last super speedway event of the season, and it is the last one of the regular season. So interesting to see how these guys play it over the course of 120 laps coming up very, very shortly. There's nothing quite like the racing around here.
No, Daytona is the place, isn't it? When you mention NASCAR, it's always Daytona. When you walked into an arcade, you always heard Daytona going off from the machines in the corner, and you jumped on and you were like, yeah, I could do this. Then you go and crash out or something. But it's everybody. If you ask everybody, even an Englishman or a European, I should say, that name me one NASCAR track, Daytona will probably be the one.
In all likelihood. There are, in this session at the moment, to my knowledge, not any Europeans. It is not quite the right time for them, but there you go. Someone practicing pit entry there under green flag, which is, I suppose they're covering all bases, but I wouldn't suspect they need to practice the green flag pit entry. As we were talking about earlier on, probably not going to need any green flag stops. You should be able to go 40 laps around here. As somebody that I've just noticed in... who is that there? Someone's put their numbers upside down. That's not very helpful. Who is that? Looks like number 20 upside down.
No,
but there is no number 20.
No, it's 07. It's John Lewis.
That looks
bizarre.
Very weird.
Yep.
Okay. Fine.
It is, but it is the 07 machine. We've been here before. Me and Biggles have been talking about this previously, going, is it 20? Is it 7? Is it 02? What's it supposed to be? It's supposed to be a 7.
Well, it's not really a 7, but fine. That's what they've gone for. And that's fine. So that's the end of warm-up. And in a few minutes' time, we'll be underway for the race as well. And let's have a look at that grid with the rows all in line as well. Corey Rainey on the inside, for example, alongside Zachary Tyler. That's on the front row. Joshua Hahn and MJ Palmer on row 2, ahead of Owen Lax, who is starting from 5th on the inside of Kenneth Coulson. Aaron Esp is starting on the inside of Stephen Gill on row 4. John Watt is ahead of David Moyer. That's rounding out the top 10 in this race. Douglas Hess is 11th, ahead of Gino Volanti on the end of row 6. Then Jordan Parker and Joseph Klein on row 7, and Christian Mullen and Lucas Lewis, followed by Blake Witkowski and John Lewis on the back row if they do indeed start. They didn't do any lap times in qualifying. The one big surprise from qualifying, I think, is the fact that Jordan Parker's so far down. 13th place for him, despite the fact he's won a race, but more importantly, he's right up there in terms of overall points. He's been having a great season, but not in that session.
Yeah, no, but... I think for Parker, I think overall, he took the win at Kansas and he's been doing really well since. It does look like Corey Rainey has got an issue because he does end up sitting in pit lane and dropping off here. Not entirely sure what the problem is.
As did Lax as well. So there's a lot of movement here. And he's going to the tail with Lax. So they're going to the end of the lead lap here. Well, lead lap, they're all on the lead lap at the moment, of course, but dropping to the back, very interestingly. Still says Hans in the pit lane. We can see that's not true as he makes his way around to 1 or 2 at the moment, but very interesting indeed. But oh, hello, that's close. Could even be tactical, to be honest with you. Could even be tactical with the way that these cars work on the start and then through the race here at Daytona. Of course, it's so close. It's such dangerous racing at times as well. Maybe they just don't want any part of it up front.
Yeah, I'm just going to, I don't know. I wonder if I can get details on that. Let's see what I can do here.
Okay. So they make their way to the back of the train. Although Lucas Lewis and John Lewis will drop in alongside them at least. So they're sorting themselves out down at the back. despite those two qualifying inside the top 5, they drop to the back of the field early on here in the FireWorks 250, for which we're about to see the green flag here at Daytona. 120 laps with 40 lap stages, stage 1 and stage 2. Garnering points for everybody, of course, or for those who managed to get there. As the sun comes down here, it's the fall race, if you like, for this race here at Daytona, and so we should be getting into the night time a little bit later on. It's going to be front row for Joshua Hahn as he's in control of the field, and the green flag waves in the FireWorks 250. We're racing for the second time this season at Daytona.
Yeah, we are up and running. Too wide is going to be the theme, I would have thought, but that inside line has got to jump. Joshua Hahn, MJ, Aaron Espy and Kenneth Coulson. Everybody's kind of going single file, which I'm quite surprised about. They didn't really push the outside line. There's that poor old David Moyer has just been kind of just strung up there all on his own, unfortunately. He's going to be heading backwards very quickly unless them three on that outside line can really lock in together. And you can see the 6, the 5, the 73 all trying to do just that. And that is important early on.
Well, are they going to really work together here to persist with this, or are they going to eventually drop down low and get to the line with everybody else towards the start-finish line and the tri-oval for the first time? That one completed. Joshua Hahn leads here at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, he does at the moment. He's got MJ tucked in, SB and Moyo there. You can see the 82 has just come up onto the top of Stephen Gill, trying to run that second line, trying to pull that second line forward. I'm not entirely sure that would have been a good idea for me. Personally, I would have been trying to get into the fastest lane moving, which would have been the bottom one, and I probably would have tried to stay there. I wouldn't have come out and thrown a block on lap 2, especially when I've got 120 still, or 118 still left to go.
Well, the problem is with the race length, I should say, easy for me to say, is that it's actually not that long here at Daytona. You know, you're right to say those 180 laps, it does seem like a long way, but those are going to rattle off very quickly here. And if you're not careful, then you could get left behind and left with too much to do late on here when it all gets pretty interesting later. So I don't mind this early on. Don't mind this kind of thing at all early on as we get on to lap 3. On board with Moyer, off of 2. Oh, bit of a push there. Don't want to quite push them just on the corners. You want to get them in the middle, and there you go. That's a good shove down the back straight.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can bump quite a few times around Daytona. Now we'll stay on here where we are at the moment. I think Gill might be looking to go on the inside here. Is he going to leave us? Get him. Ooh, no, not there. Not there. There is. There is a big one. Safety car is out.
Has caution. Caution is out. So our first one of the day, Esp and Lewis are the ones who have dropped back from the field. So I saw it starting to develop there. Moyer just got into the back of the car in front, just not quite right. As I said earlier, you want to do it right in the middle, not on the corners, and not in the corners. Goodness me, look at the pace truck go. Wow.
And it gets to the front of the...
I've never seen that before. It gets to the front of the train, but you know that's exactly the risk you get when you're pushing quite like that. And unfortunately, we're not sure what the damage is for Lewis or Esper yet, but I've not seen them. But they do seem to be damaged to me.
Yeah, he's in pit lane, unfortunately for Esp. Unfortunately, again, we will have a look at some of the replays towards the at the end of the race, of course.
Yeah, we can't look at them in real time. And a replay, so we'll see later. Just trying to see any damage there for us, but didn't look like there was loads from the outside, though maybe on the front end. Couldn't really see from that angle. Looks all right.
Or yeah. Is it down the left, you see it?
Left?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think you got it down the left-hand side there of these guys. And we'll see... Oh, not very good. Over there, but there we go. No, so yeah, he's got it mainly down the left-hand side. Just see it there on the picture, or right-hand side as you're looking at it.
Early stops coming here. Very early stops. Lots of stops as well on the circuit. So everybody, apart from 5, into the pit lane by the looks of it. And here they come. So not all the sets of tyres in the world you could want here, by the way. Just a little top up on fuel for everybody, it seems. It's a fairly long stop there for Rainey, it looks like, who's stopping right the way to the back of the field. And can't imagine there's much damage knocking around at the moment, but some very long stops back here for some of these drivers. Indeed, Esp is already off of the lead lap, but I'm surprised to see them coming in that early, actually. I wasn't quite expecting that.
No, I think if they've just come in to top up, they might try and sit back and think, well, can we reach stage 2? Is that a possibility? Are they going to be able to go that long? We'll have to see how they get on, I think, on that one, and see whether or not they can. But it will be very interesting to see what their intentions are, and whether or not they see it as they might actually be able to get to stage 2. Because if they do go and run it out, they are going to end up with a green flag pit stop, and I don't think anybody really wants to go ahead with that. But then again, in about 35 laps time, there's going to be stage, so they should be able to just go back in and top back up again. So, yeah, a little bit confusing.
Yeah, surprised, but there we go. It's the way with these things. Rainey's still in pit lane, so I wonder whether he's repairing damage at the moment, and he'll just wait until just before the point he goes a lap down before he heads back out onto the circuit again and tries to at least stay with the group and hope for some more cautions and some more repairs a little bit later on. But for now, he is down on pit lane doing something. I mean, he doesn't look to have damage to me.
Unless he got caught up in with the yellow, of course. His car looks pretty clean, so I'm surprised that's for him. Do you know what I mean?
And he's not timing this so that he... Oh, yes, he is. Goodness me, that's close. He was playing with fire there a bit, wasn't he? But he's got away with it. And he will now make his way onto the circuit. Not everybody quite in line properly at the moment as they go right and left. And Palmer seems the spot inside the first position there. And he's going to start from the front now. So hopefully we get a nicer, longer green flag run together now that maybe takes us towards the end of the first stage, because we can't go 3 laps and then have a caution every time. Otherwise, this is going to be a 40 caution race. Hopefully that's not going to be the case, but let's see just what long or not of a green flag run we're about to get here.
Well, let's hope we do. Otherwise, me and you are going to have to stop for food and water. Because if we keep going at this rate, well, we're going to be here for a good few hours.
Yeah, exactly. Caution laps here, of course, are over 2 minutes in length. And that doesn't help. It's such a long circuit. And the speed at which the pace truck goes doesn't seem to increase, depending on the circuit. Because they could probably do being a bit slower at Bristol and a bit quicker here. But anyway, it seems to be pretty uniform across the board. Never mind.
68.
Rainey is... Sorry, go on.
68 miles an hour. Sorry. On that one. That's roughly what it's doing.
Must be 45... 100 k's an hour, it must be. I guess. It's 68. It's quite a random number in miles an hour. But anyway, Corey Rady has got himself to the back of the train. And he's got himself right up on the outside line there. You can see more cars on the inside than on the outside. But anyway, there you go. At the end of 6 laps. Oh, green flag again. Man. And that was a bit of contact there. As Lewis got into the back of Villanti. Already pretty wide over the triangle. That was a bit of a mix-up on the outside line. Yeah,
that was nearly the end of Gino there. And I don't know if that was him pulling in, them getting it wrong, or whatever the situation was. But they're going to have to be a little bit more mindful when what they're doing. Some of these, I'm a bit worried about some of these pushes at the moment. They seem to be quite happy to give a little oomph in the corner. There's Joseph Klein pushing along Lucas Lewis in the 73 in front of us. Oh, this is where we were talking about getting a little bit squirrely. What he wants to do is come off this corner. He can hit him now, like that. Now back away and leave him. Now go at him again. Get him on the straight bit before you go into the corner. Bump. Now back away and leave him. And then as he's going halfway through, he wants to make sure that he's going to get right on him as they come out of the exit. Oh, he struck him up and left. Oh, he's going to cut him. Oh. So he needs to...
tried.
Yeah, he tried to go underneath him, and Lewis said, nah, mate, I'm a bit cleverer than you. And he chopped his nose off. But that's the thing. You can hit quite a few times around here. If you get it right, you've got to come out of 4, bump. You got to leave him on the try, get him on the way to 1, bump. Get him on out of 1, bump. Out of 2, sorry, bang. Get him down the street before the exit into 3, and you can get him again. So you can get a good 4 and 5, but this is not looking too clever at the moment.
3 wide already on lap 9. Goodness me, and look at this. Everybody's going all over the place trying to work this out. 73 of Lewis is going nowhere. He's trying not to hit the 5, which is bouncing up from the bottom to the top, to the bottom and the top again. Oh, and he squeezes
Jesus.
it. Goodness me. He did not want to be in the middle for any longer.
Oh, he just would have gone backwards and backwards and backwards if he'd stayed there, because nobody went with him. But for Joseph Klein, oh, bro, that could have nearly been termination. That was
very close.
Oh, mate, that was scarily close.
He's looking at it on the outside line again. He's really wanting to make some moves. He now moves on to the high side. So he's now leading the line on the outside line ahead of number 1, Corey Rainey, who, by the way, is already up to the top 10 again. After dropping all the way back and repairing his car for some time. I'm not clearly it's hasn't got very much damage anymore. It's all fine. Everyone's just, yes, it's fine. Everyone's just looking around for wherever they can push and so on. 10 laps to go, or 10 laps gone, I should say. 30 to go in the first stage. And at the moment, everybody's playing like there is 10 laps to go in the stage.
Yeah, they're racing like it's towards the end, isn't it? You know, we're going to finish off now. This is it. We've got 3 to go. I'm going for it. But, yeah, Lucas Lewis, man, they need to be a little bit careful. There's been a couple of nose chops off done here. And for me, it's scary. Scary to sit and watch here.
Well, yeah, I could understand the 5 car doing it, to be honest, because it's stuck in the middle there. I think actually being stuck in the middle was more dangerous at the time than actually coming down in front of whoever he came down in front of was, actually. It was such a difficult squeeze for everybody. I can't imagine they'll be doing 3 wide anytime soon again. You never know. Only 3 now on the outside line here. And this is allowing actually the top the rest of them, then they could actually run away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, the worst thing is at a very draft-dependent track, the last thing you really want to do is lose the draft. You lose the draft, you're going to go down. That's why Klein in the middle went plummeting down here, because he'd almost lost the draft, and because he was in the middle, because nobody really wanted to go with him. So I think for Joseph, he did the right thing to try and get back in, but man, he probably don't want to put himself in that position again.
On board here in 6th place with Gil. Oh, look at the run there. These are the things you've got to be wary of when you are a driver getting a run like that. You've got to be very wary that you don't rear-end somebody here, because they can really develop very, very quickly indeed, especially in these cars. I find that they almost develop more than they do these days in the next-gen cars in these versions. They really come up very quickly, but now he used that run to get to the outside. Now he's going backwards.
Yeah, because he's got nothing in front of him. You know, look around him. He's got nothing there to help him. He's got in an ideal world, he's relying on Joseph Klein to bump him along. And the thing is, if Joseph isn't there, he can't do that. But he that's what he's kind of relying on at the moment. He needs Joseph to come with him, or he needs him to sit on him and try and literally push him along. Because if he doesn't do that, then unfortunately that outside line, well, is worthless. It's not going to make a difference.
At the moment, they're going nowhere. Hess and Lewis, by the way, are off the back at the moment in 16th and 17th place, so they're running around together. Might not be the worst place to be at this stage in the race, to be honest with you. Just off the back right now, as long as they don't go a lap down, which is the worry. Aaron Esp is out now, out onto the circuit again now, by the way. He's 10 laps down. He's going to need a bit of a miracle to get back involved in the leaders.
Yeah, I think for Esp, to be honest with you, I would have waited. I'd have waited till they come down and headed out of pit lane to join onto the back of the pack and get dragged along. Otherwise, he's just going to get eaten very, very quickly. For me, these two, wow, they are in for a challenge. They have got to stay nose to tail. John has got to bump him along, and he's got to do it every single time on point to catch up with what's going on up there. Because at the moment, this isn't helping. He needs to be in there, he needs to follow him, he needs to bump him coming out the corner. Now, square, there. And then he needs to go again. You see the Chevy sign right in front of us. There's a little black box on the left-hand side. If you kind of position your nose there, that's really where you want to be squarely hitting him on. But he's got to do this better. This is not great. He really does need to be doing this a lot better to push these two up. Otherwise, the pack's just going to keep running away, and then they're going to be, well, going to be a lap down very shortly.
Well, I'm a lot less concerned about it than you, clearly. I think they're absolutely fine because they know that the caution is not going to be that far away. And so they can afford to lose, 45 seconds here and still retain themselves on the lead lap. So I think they'll be absolutely fine here. And they're doing the smart thing by not getting involved in what could be a big crash, if there is one, up here. Certainly the way they're racing at the moment, they're not racing like there is over 100 laps still to go. Through 3 and 4 they go. Wonder how many of them are single file. This is where it gets double file. Now finally, where is this in the order? Maybe a top 6 or so. Single file on the left-hand side. There you go. And then you've got some runs here on the outside line, but it's very jittery, I've got to say, very nervy. Everybody looking to move up high, and look at that. That was very close. On the way towards turn 1, Corey Raynor giving a big shove there.
Yeah, he got a massive push on the back of the 23. But he did it just coming into corner. He wants to get him now and then get him one more. He should be able to get him one more there. Can he get him? No, now leave him. I know, you've got to be careful. You've got to really leave them alone at certain points here because they can be incredibly twitchy. And if he just bumps him at the wrong time, the biggest emphasis isn't Corey Raynor. It's on Joseph Klein behind in the 5. What Joseph cannot afford to do is push the pusher, because if you push the pusher, it just goes wrong. Partly due to the fact that he's trying to push somebody, and he's trying to leave him alone, then he's going to come in and push him again, and then before you know it, it's game over. You cannot afford to do that. You've got to just let Corey get on with it a minute, and you've got to try and stay there as best you can.
Yeah, I mean, I think this race so far, to me, has been a perfect example of why I'm glad this package is not a thing in real life anymore. It is so dangerous. So dangerous. No wonder they all used to have about 3 big crashes before lap 150. Absolute nightmare. In the real world, I'm talking about, of course. It's just so difficult to control these cars. Look at the way they're going all over the place here. When you're pushing someone in front, the driver just gets so all over the place. These days, you get much more returns for your push, I would say. But you're not trying to kill anybody. Through turn 2 they go, and look at that again. The inside holding strong here, as often. But look at that again. Goodness me, this is almost impossible to actually push someone to get to anywhere while also not spinning them out. It's so difficult.
Yeah, you can't push when somebody's weaving like that behind Owen Lax. The 73 cannot push that car, because as soon as you do, you've got to hold the line. That who is in that 9 car? Jordan, you've got to hold your line, son. You're a little bit wiggly here. He's got to hold the line. It sounds easier than it actually is, to be honest with you, because holding line is terrible. Because you don't actually see the corner entry. You're kind of reacting to the car in front. When he turns, you turn. But it's very, very difficult. But you want to try and at least hold it at certain points and not give Lucas Lewis a sniff like that. Because, as we said, when that's happened before, I've done that, and then the car has come underneath me and bumped me round. So for Jordan, he really needs to stay tight to that yellow, and he needs to make sure he's holding it straight, especially at this part of the race circuit.
I mean, these cars are just really difficult to control. It's not as simple as just saying you've got to hold a straight line. They'll answer, well, I can't really. the car wiggles all over the place. And here we go on the outside. Oh, well, that was close. Nearly a three-wide moment there as somebody tried to pull out of the line. I think that may have been, I don't know, but somebody was trying to go through the middle there and found someone right alongside. It was Zachary Tyler, I think.
Yeah.
It always happens in lap traffic, and a 4-5 car incident has happened on the run down towards turn 1.
Yeah, done. That was it all day. We saw that coming at an absolute mile off, and there is, well, yeah. Rainey's in pit lane, Zachary Tyler in pit lane, Douglas Hess still moving, he is, John Lewis, Joseph Hahn looking a little bit beaten, he's going to go pit lane, Espy's probably sitting there thinking I've just come out and I've ended up having to go back in. Yeah, it's very, very dramatic indeed when that happens, but honestly, they were too wiggly. You can't do that. I know you.
I mean, these cars are going all over the place.
But they don't have to be. This is the thing. When you're in the car, you can hold the line. And you know, I've seen races where we've been 3 wide for like 2 laps or 3 laps because you can hold it. It's just being a little bit more soft-handed on your inputs. It's being soft-handedly just gently easing the car. You know, if you wiggle it and you jolt it because you're reacting to the guy in front, you've then got to go back the other way. And that's where the backwards and forwards wiggling comes from, because they've turned too hard coming off the corner. So it is possible, Ewan, it is. I promise you it is all day. I'm not just sitting there chatting utter waffle. It is possible to hold the line.
I am not agreeing. But
well, how about me and you go on a run, we'll race round Daytona, and you can follow me and I'll show you.
I don't own this generation of NASCAR, so that's the first problem. But
off you go, son. Shop's open.
That's besides the point. I think it's impossible. It's not really very easy to say, you know, just hold a straight line when the car's wiggling all over the place. You know, that's like saying don't correct oversteer on a road course. I mean, just going to spin round. That's there's no point to that. As there's a couple in the back are coming in pit lane as well. Who's in that actually came in from the racetrack? Kenneth Colson and Christian Mullen are in. Joshua Hahn, John Lewis, Douglas Hess, all into the pit lane as well. John Moore was a long way off the back after returning to pit lane. Immediately he's back onto the circuit again, at least on the lead lap. That's a good turnaround for him. Looks like he might have survived this. So we'll have 14 on the lead lap in that case. Gill is going to have some long repairs by the looks of things. So is Zachary Tyler, and Aaron Espy's in as well. The irony for him being he's just spent 10 laps repairing his car and he's got to do it again now.
I'm surprised if Espy stays in, to be honest, because there's a lot of people that wouldn't. There is a lot of people that have just gone, no, I am not waiting in again. I've just sat here. I'm going out and I'm going to go get a cup of tea or something like that, because, yeah, he's already a good few laps down and unfortunately he's just been hit again. But, of course, there's no fast repairs, so they've got to sit there and just get repaired.
There will be a lot of damage for some. I think Corey Rainey saw how much damage there was on the one car. Thought, no, I'm not going to be dealing with that. Yeah, he is out the race. So that is a very unfortunate end of a very quick race, unfortunately, for Corey Rainey, who is out of the race before the end of the at the end of this first stage. And with that pole position, he might have seen this as his only chance to get into the playoffs, really. He's well over 100 points off of 16th in points, but he needed that race win because he is inside the top 25, but that is going to go away now. He's going to have to win somewhere else if he wants to be in the playoffs at the end of the season.
And then we turn around and say to him, yeah, go to Darlington, see how you get on. Jesus. Oh, dear. Oh, for Corey Rainey, that's, yeah, he's got an uphill mission at the moment in time. I'm glad to see SB still there. He's still running, been repaired again, and he's back out in pit lane. So, you know, for my driver of the day, I'll go Aaron SB just for pure persistence that he wants to stay on the racetrack.
Well, he's not made it yet to the finish, to be fair. But yep.
Stop it. You might.
Well, I've been saying, you know, it's all well and good right now, but he could retire before lap 30 yet. So we'll see on that. There is some motivation for him now, though, of course, because Rainey's out the race, so all of a sudden there's an extra point there.
Yeah. You, ever the optimist. Well, you could retire by lap 30. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm not wrong, am I?
No, you're not wrong. I would have hoped we would get a little bit further than lap 30. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Let's please get a little bit further than lap 30.
Are the lights sort of off on top of that pace truck, or
It is. No, I think you are
okay.
right.
But nobody wants to go on the outside line then with Parker, who is going to be left outside on his own there on the outside line. Well, that might be the best way that we can get a long green flag run together here, if they just start to run single file and maybe start to think about those stage points in a few laps' time.
Yeah, stage at lap 40, of course, so we'll have to see who comes out and takes the stage win. But poor old Joseph Klein up there in the number 5. He's got no mates.
Yeah. Is it Klein?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apologies. Yeah, it's not Parker. It is Klein. There you go, up on the high side on the 5, and now he's going to get a couple of people to join him. I did see someone lurking on the high side further back, but they weren't closing up. Now they are. So here we go. 3 on the outside. That's basically what we've had all race so far. A few on the outside line, but most of them on the inside line, freight training them and nearly crashing into them at large parts of the race. But anyway, Owen Lax gets it underway, and immediately there, Klein trucks to the low side. He's abandoning those up on the high side there. Immediately here as we get through lap 25, 95 still to go at Daytona, and it's a much more spaced out restart after the first big accident of the day.
Yeah, Joseph was a little bit harsh there. He kind of left everybody who come up to try and help him. He kind of just deserted them straight at the restart. He kind of just went and, well, strung them out to dry. Even the 90 car behind as well, Joshua Hahn, had also just abandoned that outside line as soon as he could get in. And that poor 16 there, or Douglas Hess, dude, yep, join on the back of the pack, because otherwise you are going to go back further and further. You might want to get in as soon as that car goes past you, that Havilland machine, because otherwise he's just going to get a little bit strung out. But Owen Lax there, see at the bottom, currently started in 5th, 4 positions, has led 19 laps.
They're doing well so far. Most laps led of anybody so far today. Bike dropping to the back of the field, you remember, off the start. So he decided that starting from the back was the best idea, and he's proving that as well at the moment. So we've got, what's that, 11 in the front group. Then we've got, who is that, John Lewis, who is off the back a little bit. Then John Moore even further off the back and losing a lot of speed at the moment. Christian Mullen is just with Lewis. Those two are running around together. So that's down Mullen, so he's hoping for a caution. They can get back on to lead that. And then Aaron Esbitt as well, who I think is still in the pack. Oh no, he's not. He's even further off the back, I should say. By the way, and there he is, drafting with somebody. Actually, a little bit further down in the field, there is John Moore. So there's 2 pairings, if you like, but they're going quite slowly. Must be quite damaged. The reason why, by the way, you were mentioning earlier why Esbitt hasn't thrown in the towel, of course, is because he's only 5 points above the cut line at the moment, and he needs every point he can get.
Well, yeah, that's vitally important, and he probably is going to be aware that there's going to be more and more that are going to possibly drop out or have some form of incident, accident, ta-ta-ta, whatever you want to call it. So for him, it's worth carrying on. You know, go for it. See how you get on. But I am surprised. I am really shocked that he has carried on. We've lost Tyler. We've lost Corey. He'll get them 2 positions, of course. And once he goes through over the next 11, we'll see 11 laps down at the moment. So he'll get them positions to make up. But, yeah, I suppose if there's any more cautions, he might be all right. We'll have to see how he gets on.
not the first car lead lap, off the lead lap anymore. And indeed, he was caught up in the last caution anyway, so it didn't really help him. But he was the only one off the lead lap. And again, when we get to those guys, if we do get to them in the next 11 laps, there's going to be a big problem, because that's what caused the last caution effectively. Not any bad driving from Espe, but just the energy that it puts into the front group. It made everybody crash into each other effectively. Last time round for these guys out front, low 46s. For those guys out there, they were in the 50s. So they're losing 4 to 5 seconds a lap. That is going to mean we're very close to catching them by the end of the stage. That's going to be a deadly mix. The end of the stage and a couple of lap cars they're all passing as well.
He must have had a problem. You shouldn't be able to. No, what's he going to do when he goes over the line this time? Give me 2 seconds. Let me just look at Wall's. He can't have done a 50.
Damaged.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. Maybe.
And there's only 2 of them.
And there's yeah, but if they locked up, they might be all right. If they're both, but then again, if they're both smashed up and they're losing miles an hour, that's probably going to be losing miles. But at the moment, this front group are doing a great job here. Owen Lax, Klein, Parker, Lewis, MJ Palmer, and Gino Volante. So, 31 down. We've got 9 to go to the first stage.
Yep, 9 at the line. So far, everybody single file in this front 11. And as I say, that's probably the best way to do it just for the moment. Wait for those final 5 laps or so of the stage. But as soon as somebody starts to move around and starts to look on the outside line, start to try and form up a bit of a line, then it's going to be trouble for everybody. I think Klein could really kick this off. If he wants to go past Lax, he might get a behind in a few laps' time. Maybe not just yet. He might get hung out to dry if he does it now. But if he waits a few laps and tries to go around the 88, then all of a sudden he could get a push from Parker and they could all go past the 88 and then it will be on for the stage.
Yeah, because then you're just going to string him up, aren't you? This is the thing. You've got Lax and Parker. The problem is Lax and Parker are in the same Parker Motorsports team. So, he probably, if Klein went up, Parker's probably going to string him out to dry, because if my teammate's in front, I probably would string him out, to be honest with you. That car on the outside for Lucas Lewis, that was the worst decision I think he's ever made. He moved, yeah, there you go.
Well, it wasn't his choice, that's why. He was rather, well, not struck out of line, he was certainly not let back in again. I think it was Palmer. We saw him briefly go up high. I mean, it was barely anything, really. He was just sort of taking the normal line off the corner, and he said, "Thank you very much, I'm on your inside now, and you're not getting back in here." And so Lewis has been shuffled back a few more positions again. He did find a gap, though, in 8th place, and he is back in the group again. But, you know, you can't afford to... And there you go again. You see, they're not even moving out of line. They're just slightly moving within the line. And all of a sudden, that gives you the opportunity to get alongside somebody and shuffle them completely out the train if you want to.
That's exactly what we were talking about. That's exactly what's happened to me in races. You just get a little bit high, coming out the turn, something slips it underneath you. And the only thing is, you can't do anything about it either. You've just got to sit back and let it happen, because if you try and come back in, they're going to spin you. Or if they're, really, really want to, they can go down onto the apron and give you a knock trying to come back on. So you've got to really play it by ear, and you don't want to be leaving big gaps on the inside, because somebody will stick their nose up there.
I'm not sure Hess has got a fully healthy car at the moment, because he's dropping off the back of the field here. Wonder whether that's tactical or not. He's still in the slipstream, and he's going to get himself back in again. Now, is he going to take this monstrous run and get anywhere with it? He's going to be very quick over the line here. Even set a personal best as he works his way towards the outside line. Now, here we go. Lap 35? No, he lifts off. So he's looking to run around at the back. To us, if you're not looking for stage points, it might be a decent idea to just tag off the back completely here and wait for this accident, because look at this. The lap cars are onto them, and somebody's coming out the pit lane right in front of them as well. That's not going to be the problem. It's going to be War and Aspe who come right through here in a few moments' time. That was Gill, by the way, coming out 12 laps down, so Aspe's just about got him, and he's already up to 15th place. That's exactly why he's carried on. Now then, 5 to go at the line, and we've got a big decision to make here as the lap cars go high.
Yeah, as long as they stay there. Oh, that 29 is proper shaking that wheel. As long as they happily stay there and let these guys through, they're not going to be a problem, and they're not a problem. So fair play to them there as well. David Moyer sitting right in the middle of the pack, of course. He is there at the moment, and he is sitting behind Blake Witkowski and also the Gino Volante. So for David, he's got to really make a choice of what he wants to do here. Up 4 places, started in 10th, currently in 6th. Follow. I think for now, just follow. Follow, follow, follow.
Well, I don't think the following is going to last that much longer, with 4 to go until the stage. Just depends when people think they need to start making these moves. You can get runs very quickly, so it might be that you don't have to go very early. Now then, we're alongside Hess and Coulson down at the back. And all of a sudden, there will be starting a bit of a movement there. I think Klein is going to give this a go on the outside, but you're right, he is going to get shoved out of the bottom line by Parker. So he needs someone else to do it first, and then he can try and leave the outside. Yeah,
he needs somebody to pop out. It's almost like the number 8, for instance, MJ. If MJ pops out and gives him a remote little bit of a hint that he wants to run the outside line, Klein could come up and pull him forward. If they don't, well, there is a bit of pop out at the moment. You can see there, now everybody's got to make a decision, because that's Blake Witkowski in the 31. Don't push him there. Don't do that.
Thanks for stage points now.
Yeah, but don't push him in the corner. No. Don't do that. I know they're playing for stage points, but you can't be... I suppose you could push the pass, I suppose.
Right, yeah, they're going to be. Here with the stage winding down, 2 to go. The end of this lap. No lap cars, thankfully, and the lap cars didn't cause any problems this time. Although, to be fair, we weren't going too wide, so that helped. As they will weave off of turn 4 again as well. 2 to go. Let's see, does Klein try and do anything here, or is he going to stay low just to keep himself out of trouble?
It's really difficult, because if he goes for it, he is...
Gordon. Parker went up there. Wow, that's a surprise.
Unless he's chucked a block out. Because Owen went with him.
He's going to come with a run. There we go. Now he's got a run. Look at this. And now the teammates are together on the low side. Here we go. Max and Parker have finally worked it out. That was a bit unorthodox, actually, but they've managed to make it work. And now Lax is going to be pushed by his teammate, perhaps, to the stage win with 1 to go.
Yeah, they did that. They planned it as well. Parker went up high. He brought the queue up for him. Lax went up with him. And Parker nipped down. Lax comes straight back down as well. Epiphany of teamwork there, and a great job for both of them, because I can tell you one thing, that was almost going to be how the scenario we had it with Klein. Klein now needs a 31 of Blake just to push him.
Whoa! And that was very close to an accident through 1 and 2. They were just checking up there on the low side, and actually the 73 of Lewis had to go high to avoid a crash there, going straight into the back of Volante. It looks like Lax is going to have enough, unless Parker challenges his teammate up towards the line here. Let's wait and see as they now make their way around 4, up towards the line. Stage 1 of the FireWorks 250 is going to go to Owen Lax here at the end of that 40. Good run from him, pushed by his teammate all the way home, and it's Lax and Parker who will finish the first stage 1 and 2.
Yeah, he did a great job. They worked beautifully together. Let's just put it that way, because that could have been a lot worse, but they did it really well, and I think them guys deserve a big old pat on the back for that, because that was awesome working.
Made it work, and they've got Lax a stage victory here at Daytona. Stage 1 goes to him, and now everyone will come in and get some fuel. Of course, a lot of these drivers haven't stopped yet. MJ Palmer, Gino Volante, and David Moyer. To be fair, they're the only 3 who haven't stopped yet, but even so, they will have to now. Where's the pace car? I don't know, actually. Is he coming through here in a moment? Steaming through 100 miles an hour? Yep, there he is. Sure what the pace truck's doing today. It's not like they don't know when the cautions are going to be.
Well, exactly. I don't really know what they're up to be honest, but it's clearly wanting to do whatever it would like to do today. So, yeah, poor old pace car. It will learn. See what goes on.
Well, the pit lane will be open this time, and so surely everybody will be making pit stops now. Do they take 4 tyres or 2? I would suggest 4, given the way that these tyres will be burning through at the moment and just how unpredictable these cars are anyway. Parker leaves a bit of space for his teammate there just to allow Lax some breathing room going into pit lane. That will allow him some breathing room on the exit, more importantly, when he decides to try and come out in first place. Down on the brakes, into the box. Now, which side does he go up on? Left sides first? Right sides, excuse me, first. But on my lefts and rights. Now, did he go up on the left-hand side as well here? The 88? No. Just 2. Just 2 tyres, though. It was 4 for the 8 car. Palmer going for 4. A full load of fuel as well for Lax. The irony is you don't actually lose any time by taking 4. But because you've taken a full tank of fuel. But anyway, Lax is out first. And only having taken 2 tyres.
Yeah, probably the right choice, to be honest with you. I don't think you really needed 4. You barely do a lot of tyre deg here at the best of time because of the way that you're running. So for Lax, it's probably done the right choice, to be honest with you. I wouldn't worry too much. Parker's going to come out off pit lane. MJ, Blake Witkowski, Lucas Lewis, they're all coming out at the same time. David Moyer, Gino Volanti, Douglas Hefts, Kenneth Coulson. So all of these guys racing off pit lane at the moment. But we will be back up and running once stage is complete for stage number 2 up into 80.
Yep, so another 40-lap stage. Quite bizarre that the stages have been all equal in length, but actually it's not totally unusual for this series. As I mentioned earlier, we've had this only a couple of weeks ago at Kentucky with 3 50-lap stages. Charlotte, another 3 100-lap stages, one of the longer races of the season. Earlier on, Auto Club, 340s. Vegas as well, 350s. And this circuit, of course, Daytona, 340s again earlier on in the season. 120 laps around here. Lap times, of course, in the 45-second mark normally. Suggests an hour-and-a-half race, but with the caution that go on, that is not going to be the case. This is caution number 3, just 40 laps in, but that last restart actually was as they go double file now, and they someone's getting away around there. That was Gill, I think. Yeah, it is. So Gill and Esper on the same lap now, but Mullen as well on the lead lap. So we have 13 all of a sudden back onto the lead lap again, and War only 1 lap down. Hopefully those guys have been getting some repairs and they can get to the back of the end of these guys and get back in the lead lap, get back in the fight. But that last restart was actually a bit more encouraging there. A lot more single file, a lot more sensible driving, and then a nice race at the end of the stage as well. Nice tactics from Parker and Lax to get the stage win.
Yeah, I think Parker and Lax played the field like a fiddle, to be honest with you. They set them up as well. They knew that they couldn't get Klein out the way, and the only way they could do it was Parker dummied up high. Lax went up as soon as Klein went up, and then all of a sudden Parker got the run, straight back down again. Lax comes straight in front of him. That was the only way they could have played that, and they played it perfectly.
Yeah, they certainly did. A bit unusual when they made it work actually, but it did work, so they'll get away with it. So when we get back racing again, there will be 77 laps still to go. I wonder whether this is going to be one of those restarts that's a bit cleaner than like the one we previously saw, or whether it's going to be the 3-lap run we had to start this race.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not. I want a clean race. Let's go clean. Come on, we've got this. They've got this. We can do this.
Let's see. Everyone's made their way to the group, and upon seeing that there's not many people on the outside, I guess a lot of people who caught up recently have decided to go for it. So we'll have 6 on that outside run now. A few people at the back trying to get a bit of a run on the rest of the field as Lax, careful, gets into the restart zone and now does go with Parker right in behind him. Look at that, big shove from his teammate, and immediately the 73 decides to pull into third place with not much help in behind, and they're pulling in as well. Hess will be in 5th place, so not a lot of drivers who lined up on the outside line actually going through with running the outside when the green flag flew.
Yeah, I think it was really hard whenever you run the outside line, because obviously you've got that bottom line that are already going to bolt and no. Oh, no! Moya is a spinning.
Spin for Moya. Now, it was down below the apron, so will the caution have flown or not is the question for me.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it has.
Looks like it has. So, yes, the caution did fly. It looked like it was one of those classic situations where there was somebody on the inside there with someone on the outside of them, and they wanted to... Oh, in the background, very nearly a crash on the caution. It looked like one of those situations, I say, where somebody on the outside wanted to tuck into the inside line, and there was somebody already there.
Yeah, and it's probably what we were talking about all the way through. As I say, we will have a look back at the end, of course, in the replay run through. I just thought I'd put that, as we've been talking about it for a while, the sound effects.
I'm not sure. Maybe people watching this won't know because they don't watch all the series, but...
oh, well, it's possible.
But anyway, yes. So, caution for the 4th time, if I'm not mistaken, here in this race. And pace car will pick them up again. And some of those maybe that got the wave around last time round will pit in this time, maybe. Christian Mullen's the only one who got the wave around, though, so maybe it will only be him who comes in realistically. Espen Gill came in last time round, even though their pit stop lap was quite a long time ago. So I guess War is going to be back onto the lead lap in that case. 1 lap down at the moment in the 29 car, and he should get back round again.
Yeah, as long as they don't think he was involved in the incident, so he should be able to get his wave around, I would have thought, and get himself back onto lead lap. But yeah, I don't think he was caught up in that incident with David Moyer, so hopefully for him, there he goes now.
Well, he's only passing people in the pit lane so far. Lewis comes in from the top end, and Parker as well, and Lax. Well, that's a surprise. I guess some of these guys are a bit concerned about not making it to the stage break, but I can't believe they'd be concerned about making it the next 34 laps or so, as there goes War indeed. He will be back on the lead lap. We'll have 14 on the lead lap now.
14 cars. We've got Gill and SB are a long way back. I don't know if they're going to be... They're not going to realistically get back on unless we've had 12 cautions, but I don't think they're going to realistically get back on. It should be John Moore, should be the last one who will be able to get back on. Obviously, if there's any more, they will get wave round, so they might only finish 9 or 8 laps back.
Well, exactly. So this is quite an important run coming up now next, because the one who beats the other at the next caution will get the wave around, and unless everybody else pits, then the other won't be able to get the wave around as well. And so you're going to have the situation where the driver is going to be 1 lap, or one of the two of them is going to be 1 lap ahead of the other, and that's going to create big amounts of time between the two, and lots of laps between the two. So this next run, very important indeed. It's going to decide the way of the wave around for the next few runs.
Yeah, between the two, of course, but SB might end up going another lap down here. He's still in pit lane and has been for a minute and a half. So I think that should release Gill, unless SB all of a sudden jumps out this time around. And if he does do that, he's got to try and get out in front of the pace car. So, yeah, he's got to be leaving very shortly, I would have thought.
Seen it done before. He was Corey Rainey earlier. He's now at the race, but he's on pit lane here at the moment. Here's the 3 car. Now then, does he decide to try and get out ahead of the pace truck, or does he resign himself to the fact he's going to be down at the back? War is into pit lane since he's taken his wave around, and now there he is on his way back out again. So some repairs have to be made for him, and he gets out just in front of the pace truck, but it doesn't look like the 3 car is going to do that. Oh, yep, he's just taking a bit more of a risk with it. There you go. He's just about managed it, and so he'll be on to the back. Again, so important for SB here. He's on that cut-off line. And Douglas Hess is still running well up inside the lead lap.
Yeah, he is. And Hess is where sitting 9th at the moment, isn't it? Lucas Lewis in the 73 machine sitting in 6th place as well. So a lot of people there who are in that cut-off playoff lines have got to try and finish in and around each other. So we'll see how these all get on. But I think it's damage limitation.
And let's see how we can limit the damage over the course of the next 70 odd laps. So outside line again, forming up quite well here. But everybody, as soon as we went green last time around, seemed to want to be on the low side. So I'm not really sure I get the point of them coming up high just for the moment. But there you go. They are doing. And again, wonder just what we're going to see on this restart here. Is it going to be difficult and messy again? Or are we going to get a bit of a green flag run together like we did in the first stage, where after the short run, got a longer one after that? Let's wait and see just what we get here as we go about racing with 73 to go.
Yeah, we've got 73 on the clock. Cars joined back up onto the back end of the pack. I would have hoped that they would have tried to keep it a little bit clean. I am surprised Lax and Parker took that outside line. That is a shock.
Yeah. It's a little bit, but they're trying to stick together as teammates, I suppose. So he's going to be run up towards the green flag again then. 73 still to go. Palmer on the 8 car, waiting a very long time before going, and Lax there, staying with him over the line. So might even just get ahead of him here on the outside. This is a competitive restart between the inside and outside line. Lax very much caught everybody off guard last time, and there's side drafting going on now as well through 1 and 2. This is really on now for the race lead.
Yeah, a little bit scary there for MJ. Needs to be a little bit careful. That bottom line, really, if they want to stop the Parker Lax domination, they've got to push that car through. They cannot afford to let that car, them two, get any further up than what they already are, because Lax is going to stay out there for Parker, I would have thought. Oh no, he's left him there. He did come in on him. I would have thought he would have stayed out up there and tried to pull him through.
I think he's going to try and sort of dictate both lines here, and indeed now they're side by side, these two. So this is interesting. So we didn't expect to see, but the outside line gaining momentum, and Lax, after abandoning them, now he's going to lose the lead to Parker.
Yeah, I think he slowed that bottom line up there. You can see the 8 are literally pushing into him. MJ is like, you've got to go, son. Parker's now taking the front. Now Lax is going to go. Again, teamwork from the boys from Parker Motorsport, and they've done a great job in it. They took control of both lines. They brought the other line forward, and now Parker's in front of Lax for the run into stage 2, of course, which we've got 30 laps to go.
Still a long way remaining in this stage, especially considering running side by side already here in the run. I've been right from the very beginning. People were a bit reluctant towards the end of the first stage to run up high and really race side by side like this, but they're not afraid to do it here in this part of the race, clearly, as they now work lap 50 of this race. 4 of them on the outside line, but now Parker getting some assistance from Lax. The teammates are back together again, and they're on the low side again, so it has worked out. Yeah,
they've kind of swapped sides, haven't they? They've kind of done what they had to do and then got back on that low side again. So great job from the guys up front. This is going to give, obviously, Parker a little bit of time to lead the race. Only led 1 lap. Lax led 40. So it's now Parker's time to lead the way. But the outside have got to try and work together. Lucas Lewis has got to try and control that outside line, get them far up beside them, and make sure that they can stay with them as much as possible. If them 4 can run nose to tail and lock in together here, they can be quite a dominant force if they start pushing forward.
Let's see if they can get their act together. They go through NASCAR turns 1 and 2. On the outside line there from somebody at the back, but it's the top 13 we're focusing in on at the moment. They're all running round together. John War is still a bit damaged, and so it's running round at the back with Aaron Esp and Stephen Gill. I'm surprised they're not fighting harder over the first car 1 lap down position at the moment, but I guess they're presuming that the caution is still quite some way away. As the leaders make their way to the line, Lewis versus Parker for the lap lead, and it's going to go to Lewis.
Yeah, he's going to get it this time around, Lucas Lewis, so great job from him. Now led for 2 laps. Parker is underneath him, but Parker's got Lax, his teammate, of course. Lewis there with the 16 of Douglas Hess. Hess really is trying to push him along here at the moment, and he wants to they need to get them down. There you go. Now he's got to try and hold the line up if he can, because if he does want Douglas Hess to come in, or if they're going to try and remotely work together, he needs to slow that bottom line down, because at the moment, Lucas Lewis has just kind of strung that top line out.
Well, it's always seemed to happen that the leader from the outside moves to the inside line and then gets overtaken. And now Parker eventually wants to go past, and because of that gap, Lax is able to follow him. And suddenly the 73 has no momentum. He's been completely leapfrogged. Yeah,
he has. And that's because just 2 of them left him there. 2 of the guys in front just kind of left him there, and that was the end of it. You know, Parker and Lax, if you ever want to watch teamwork, you're watching it right now, because they're doing a great job.
They are doing a very good job. Reminded me of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip back in the day, 2000s. Both drafting each other like this all the time, and one of them winning every time. Wonder whether one of them is going to win here tonight in this round of the championship. We're not even halfway, though. Still a very long way to go. They could both be taken out in a crash yet. On a template. But,
what is it with you and optimism?
Well, I mean, you know, I can't jinx it. It's already happened. Oh, that was close. Very close down in the pack there. As somebody tried to come down to the inside line, and they didn't quite manage it. Well, everybody slowed up to avoid a crash, and so the field very strung out now.
They are, but they've all got to get back on and get back together very, very quickly, because you say that it's vitally important. If you lose the draft, you are in trouble. So they need to make sure that they can keep hold of the draft. It does look like Joseph Klein's gone off. Oh!
Oh! Big crash.
Coulson,
crash on the back straight.
Witkowski and Klein.
Yeah, Klein has. Yeah, where is he?
There.
Ah, I've hit the inside wall. Joseph Klein. So caution flies again with still more than half the second stage to go. As Parker leads the way, he'll get a few laps led for free under the caution. And he's going quite quickly here. The pace truck is going to be motoring in a few moments' time.
Yep.
Where is he? Yeah. Oh no, he's actually figured out when the caution's going to be, and he's got out in front of the field this time round. So well done to the pace truck driver. He's figured it out. Now Parker tries to drive underneath him, which is almost possible, to be honest.
Yep. Because of the fact that you can drive through the pace truck. But that's always nice.
Yeah, it's still invisible, which is probably a good thing, really. Especially when it comes out right in front of the field, and everybody doesn't quite trust that it's going to be drive-throughable.
Yeah, how many people, though, if they didn't make that pace truck visible, how many people would drive into it?
Well, exactly, yeah. Even just for a bit of fun.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, might do you a bit of damage, so maybe if you're taking it seriously you wouldn't, but yeah, even so. Let's see if anybody pits this time. Still 12 on the lead lap, with Hahn and Vellanti making pit stops because of damage. The top 3 stay out, but it looks like everybody else is in. I'm surprised with the amount of pit stops we're seeing at the moment.
Yeah, I am quite shocked by that, to be honest. I don't think they really need to be doing this many. The likes of MJ, Douglas, Christian, John, Kenneth. We'll see the count, but at the moment, John's on 5, unless he's going in to repair damage every time, which is fair enough. You know what I mean? If he's copying,
he is.
He's trying to get damage out the way, isn't he? And I think that's a fair point. But some of the others, quite surprised about.
No. It is Hahn who's got the free pass, is it? No, it's Espe, so excuse me. So Espe now is going to be a lap ahead of Gill, and that was the important one for him. So he'll be very pleased about that. He's got 15th now, and he's now going to be 11 laps down, not 12. That could mean some points a little bit later on. As I mentioned, only 5 points above the cut line so far. Although Douglas Hess is going to be perhaps overtaking him, Brock Whiteman's not here today in the 41 cars, so he will drop back. Esp at the moment 22 points behind Whiteman, so maybe he'll be hoping to get ahead of the 41, even if he accepts that Hess might overtake him.
Yeah, it's just about trying to get your positioning at the moment and try and make sure that you can get this car to the end. The last thing you don't want to be doing is wrecking out before you can get there. And especially with the likes of Hess that sat on that line at the same time, you know, with John Lewis, Hess, Espy, Joshua Hahn. Hahn's further back from him, Espy's further back as well. So at the moment, Douglas is kind of sitting okay if he can just keep it there.
He is doing well. Needs to make sure he doesn't get involved in any accidents here. Got a really good chance of gaining lots of points on those he needs to if he wants to make it in the playoffs on points. And so far, he's managed to do just that. I mentioned just 3 rounds to go after this one. This coming weekend, it is it's Darlington. Throwback week, I suppose. Wonder if there'll be any throwback liveries for everybody. Then the Brickyard 250, 100 laps around there, and then the Richmond 110, which is 110 laps around Richmond Circuit. Be rattled off very quickly, I suspect.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Those laps, yeah. I would have thought they'd do a few more laps actually around Richmond. I thought it was only about 30-second laps, so that'd be under an hour. But I suppose there's lots of caution laps that might have to be factored in there. Although I still maintain it's not really a short track, but it is a track where there could be quite a few cautions.
Why do you say it's not a short track?
Well, I know it's shortish, but it doesn't especially race like one. I mean, you know, it's no Martinsville or Bristol, is it?
No. No, definitely not. But these guys are obviously going to have fun there, I think. That could be an interesting one to sit back and watch.
We will see. It will be not the last short track, if you still want to call it that, of the season. There's still New Hampshire and Bristol to end the round of 16. That's a couple to end the first round of the playoffs. Phoenix and Martinsville in the round of 8 as well. Martinsville the last spot inside that round of 8 before the last in the playoffs indeed, before the Championship 4 go to Homestead. Be interesting to watch, of course, but Martinsville is the last race before the Championship 4. What a number of iconic moments, some races we've had from that in recent years, and I'm sure a few more of those to be written as well on the 3rd of May when we go there.
Yeah, I love Martinsville. That's all I'm going to say about that.
You want to race there once?
No, I'm not going to tell you.
I was inviting you there.
I know you was, because you already know. That's the thing. Let's get green going, and then we might have a chat about it.
Maybe that's the wrong way around, surely. 23 to go in the second stage. Still not quite at halfway just yet, as Jordan Parker gets a run away. 88 laps gets into second place, very close in behind him. Someone was sleeping there in the inside, and that has allowed the entire outside to come in here. There was Hess in the 16, then the number 8, and then look at this, the top 6 might actually get away for the rest of the field. Might have been Lewis, who was absolutely sleeping there on the start.
Yeah, it didn't really go anywhere, but I think the draft should save him here for John Lewis. I think he needs to get in and get that draft back up. He should just be getting it. You know, he's topping 190 up, he should be fine, but yeah, don't do that again. That was a very poor run on the green, but he's managed to get back onto the path.
Yeah, he's getting everyone into the final header. I don't know whether that was his part or at all, but not. Just wasn't quite paying enough attention on the way towards the line. So 11 in the front group. Hahn is on the lead lap still, but he's very damaged. He's on his own. And out the pit lane here comes Mullen. He's dropped a couple of laps here making repairs. Thankfully, he will stay below the apron while he's coming up pit lane, and we can stay racing here out front. The 8 and the 16 just getting side by side here. And or nose to tail, I should say, and getting alongside the inside line. So it didn't stay single file for long.
No, Clyde almost had an opportunity there to go underneath the inside car, but he didn't pick up on it. He decided to come up high instead. And I think for him now, he really could do, if you're going to go... Oh, all right, he's abandoned him already. He's gone back inside.
Yeah. The safer place to be. I would suggest that These guys, well, I would have thought before the stage resumed, sorry, that actually they would all stay on the inside line, to be honest, and just wait for those final laps of the stage. I thought the way that they played the end of the first stage on that run of about 12 laps towards the end of that first stage was actually very smart. You know, safe through the first bit, then with 5 to go, race for the points. But that's not what they're doing. They're racing for the points from 20 to go here.
Yeah, they are, and they've left a little bit of a pack. Coulson's pack. Coulson, Witkowski, Ward, Lewis, Hahn. They all need to be in single file to try and get back up and overturn that 1 point, what they got, 1.7, 1.2 at the moment it is. So they all need to be in a pack to make sure they can get on to the back end here. Otherwise, these guys could get stranded out.
See if they do end up working together here, because those guys certainly up front aren't, just for now. And the smart thing to do would be probably to get single file and make sure these guys stay away. That would guarantee you at least 4 stage points if you can do that. But at the moment, they are deciding to go side by side. These guys look a bit more organised. Certainly Witkowski is pushing Coulson. War is now involved. I wonder whether War's finally got a car that can maybe do something in this race. He's done so much repairs, so many repairs.
Yeah, he's been in and out 6 times at the pit lane. So hopefully he would have got some more of the repairs done here for John Ward. He must be sort of nearly there, I would have thought. He's got SB in front of him, so SB's trying to push these guys along to try and catch up to that group there. They're not too far. They're almost making it work here.
Yeah, well, oh, hello. That's close through the corner. Oh, dear. And that's a big stack up, and that's why there was a crash up ahead there, by the looks of it. What went on ahead? It looks like everybody stayed pointing the right direction. I think they all saw, and it has gone caution, I think. Has it?
Yeah, it has, but I can't see any reason why.
No one's spun around. I guess somebody must have gone really so sideways that they triggered the caution. Palmer's in pit lane, so maybe that is why.
Yeah, it could be, but I can't actually see. What did he do?
Making a normal stop there.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that question.
Bit weird. Okay.
Random caution.
Pretty random. Yeah, it's like it. So that was a very short run. Again, I've lost count of how many cautions we've had now, to be honest with you. It might be at 7.
Yeah. I think you might be right.
I don't know. At this stage, still 11 on the lead lap. It's a good caution for Hahn, actually, who was dropping a long way back. Now the pit lane will be open this time around. He'll still be full throttle, absolutely pelting around, because he needs to get in pit lane as soon as possible and try and repair more of that car. Yeah,
he needs to get all the way round and back round again. He's got to go round, go in pit lane, get it repaired, come back out and try and catch him up. So he's got to do what War's kind of done all the way through this race, is been in and out. The fact that he hasn't got him pitted again must mean his car's remotely comfortable where he wants it to be.
Well, no, that's because the pit lane wasn't open yet. That's why he didn't come in. Now he will do. Hess has decided to come in along with Lewis. Palmer still in pit lane repairing the damage, so it must have been him who was involved in the bringing out of that caution. And then indeed Hahn comes in for some more repairs as well. There goes Mullen past 2 laps down. He's got a chance of getting back into this race.
You can have stage break caution. It depends if he can get another wave around. Isn't it? He's 2 laps back.
Another one, yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought there would have been more.
Palmer would start dropping off the lead lap now, I suppose. Yeah, that's a problem.
So we'll have to just keep an eye out and see how he gets on here, because I've got a funny feeling we've just passed halfway and there might be a few more cautions yet.
I suspect so, yeah. Surprised we didn't see... Did we see Esper and Grill come in that time around? It looks like we didn't see Gill in. Esper did come in, though. And I wonder whether we are going to see a wave around from him under the stage break. The purpose of him pitting there is so that he can stay out during the stage break, and hopefully everybody else in front of him comes in and he can go and get a wave around. Not that that particularly matters, but it's just about staying a lap ahead of Gil and continuing on just in case somebody else retires up in front. But encouragingly for us, everyone, nearly, who has had a crash other than Rainey and Tyler here today has carried on multiple laps down.
Yeah, Valente 8, SP 11, Gil 12. It's quite a big drop in laps, to be fair, isn't it? With 8 laps down after lap 64, but it's just the way, unfortunately, things have happened, hasn't it? And these guys have just got to keep plodding around. Mullen's 2 laps down as well. So, yeah, we'll have to see how this one pans out, I think. And how many do you reckon we're going to get on lead lap?
At the end, I mean, I've got no idea. Absolutely no idea.
No, me neither. But, you know, you never know. Hicks, randomly.
Okay, we'll hold you to that later on. But what I was going to say, I was just having a look, by the way, at the rules for the NASCAR season in 2025. I'm sure some people watching this will know the answer to this. But this is another great example, and I think there are many of them, about why the crash clock they've had in recent years, for the last 8 years or so, is a terrible idea. I want to see people try and repair their cars and come out for points at the end of the day, but not really allowed to do that anymore. I'm not sure how many minutes you get to repair your car these days, though.
Yeah, but it seems a bit bizarre, doesn't it? Sticking a clock, a repair clock.
No, it is slightly,
slightly odd.
Slightly strange.
I get it in like basketball where they got a shot clock, and you know, baseball where they got a pitcher's clock, but a repair clock.
Yeah, I'm just reading now that cars that receive damage in an on-track incident have 7 minutes to complete repairs. It used to be 5. 7 minutes to complete repairs, and 8 minutes at Atlanta. Just randomly, Atlanta gets 1 more minute. So what the hell's that about? I don't know. But never mind. Guess they're expecting more damage on super speedways, and Atlanta's shorter than the other super speedways, as if that 1 minute would make any difference in at all. Never mind. Let's get back to the race, shall we? With 55 still to go. Lap 65 set to be completed, and just 15 to the end of the stage. How are we going to get to the end of this stage? Is it going to be with another caution or with a green flag run? Good early start from Parker, but Lux wasn't really concentrating, and so Klein is able to get between the teammates.
Yeah, he separated him. The problem is how are they going to play this now? Are they going to hang Klein out like they did last time, or what's the plan for the boys here from Parker Motorsports? Are they going to be, you know, playing the game? Because we've seen this before, remember, not running through first part of the stage. So, but Latson and now Parker, what's the situation going to be? Are they going to try something here with 14 to go from stage?
Hans made a bit of an error there under caution. He shouldn't have been pitting so close to the green flag, and so he's lost his lap now, and he's in danger of well, he's going to lose the group, and he's going to lose another lap perhaps if this goes green all the way home to the end of this stage. Look at this. Lax is the one under pressure himself here from Coulson, with Hess on the outside line leading the line. He's got the 73 of Lewis pushing him. So it's double file, and now Lax goes up to the top side. Now I wonder whether and when Parker's going to join him.
Yeah, he pulled him up for a run, didn't he? They got the run on the outside, and Lax threw a block up and was like, no, you're not coming through here. And he didn't. But now these guys on the bottom. Now, what I would do, because knowing what's going to happen here before, is I was at 28, I'd pull that up in front of Lax and hold him there.
I think that would have been good to try and separate the teammates. But, you know, they're probably not thinking like that at this stage in the race. There's almost little point doing that in stage 2. Might be something to do in the final stage when you know that they could really get together and try and win the race together. But for now, does it really matter if they get together combined to try and win stage 2? I'm not sure everyone's going to be super thinking that's super important.
Yeah, I don't know. It's games all the way through, isn't it? And if you're going to play them games right at the beginning, you might as well carry them all the way through the race. And now that top line's going to get a run here, and he's just going to he needs that push from Douglas. There you go. Ooh, only once. Pushes him along, but he doesn't really make an inroad into him, and that's probably due to the fact that they've only got him, Douglas, and Lucas Lewis. Even John Waugh's not gone out there. John's come down. Douglas is now left Owen high and dry, and at the moment, Owen's there on his own. He's going to get washed out. You can't go in, mate. John's there. If Lucas goes up, Owen's going to end up at the back of this pack, and you're going to have one Parker Motorsport at the front, one Parker Motorsport at the back. Oh, Lewis let him in.
Oh. Just tucks in, and so we've got 9, excuse me, in the front group. Witkowski's lost the back of the train here for some reason, and Hahn is also, excuse me, yeah, sorry, it is Lewis and Witkowski, yeah, so it is 8 in the front group, apologies. There they are, down at the back. It might not be the worst place to be if there is an accident, but anyway, they're single file further out front, at least for the moment. Didn't last very long. Lax wants to get back to the front again, and he's getting some help as well from the 73 car.
Yeah, Hess has done him a favour here by pulling him out, which I am quite shocked about. I would have left him back there. Because if he's back there, he's not dangerous.
Would he have been pulled along there if he'd have been leading the line? Would he just been pushed on? But I think the bigger problem is the 73 pushing him on. But again, I just don't think these guys are thinking like this at the moment, trying to separate these teammates out, because you've got to think, these teammates are going to make one more pit stop. There's a way for them to get back together again. There's no point trying to ruin your own race to keep them apart.
Well, no, I suppose not. But if you're in and around them, you might as well do your best to hold them back, haven't you?
Well, there's no point. There's another pit stop, and they're just going to get back together again anyway. And I'd be very pessimistic about my ability to actually manage that with so long to go in the race. I absolutely agree. In 20 laps time, even 15 laps time on the final. Whenever we get to the stage where it could be the final restart after we finish the second stage, I absolutely agree. Try and keep them away from each other. But for now, there's so long left in the race and a pit stop, so much unpredictableness that comes with that it's almost not necessary at this stage. You might as well just carry on.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that going slowly?
That was a back marker who's just absolutely got annihilated.
Hahn,
yeah, Hahn, I think it was, who's just got... Oh, where's it gone? There you go. He ended up going backwards, but Parker's leading the line at the moment and is doing a great job in it. But, yeah, Lax is now moving his way back up again.
Here he is. On the second part of the outside line, he's pushing Hess along. So a few laps earlier than last time. We're racing for stage points now. 8 to go. If we get a caution, we will go back green again and race for the stage points again, as we got a lap car now. This is where it caused the problem here after a long green flag run in the first stage. Less in the front group this time round, though. Only 8 fighting. And so with a lap car in here as well somewhere. And so getting past that lap driver of, Volanti wasn't too much of a problem. Volanti now only 2 laps ahead of the 3 car.
Yeah, it wasn't too dramatic, was it? He kind of made it a little bit easier for them, and they kind of went up and got past him. We've got 8 to stage at the moment. Parker's at the front. So we have a little bit of information. The reason they were at the back, or the reason they had to drop the guys at the beginning that we saw drop into the back of the field, was due to going on to the apron during qualifying. So they had to not ride the apron.
I thought you said they were allowed to do that. But, oh dear! Speaking of riding the apron, hello. Look at the weaving around there going on. As Klein just could not get himself gathered up. Finally he does, and that's the danger of being pushed so violently. That's the 28 car. That is... where is the 28 car at the moment?
Kenneth Coulson, he is tucked in there, in the Haviline machine.
I am so blind. Sorry, 28, yeah, number 6th place. I should get tested. He's on the low side. Oh, close! Look at that! Oh, he's gone wrong! Oh, no, he's going to hit someone out the pit lane! Oh, dear. That's a big crash for Hess, who was gaining big points this afternoon.
Who did he
Hess
collect?
in the 3 car. Coming out the pit lane there was...
MJ.
Armour, yeah, I thought he was. And he's just repaired loads of damage. He's going to have to do it all again.
MJ and Hess, unfortunately, got caught up together. Wow. There we go.
Said it was dangerous, said it was close, and there you go. I just don't see the point of the risk there for Hess. I mean, I do understand he's going for stage points here because he needs whatever he can get here in this race. However, That was a dangerous move to make, and in the end, he's come off second best there.
Yep. He has. And he hit the car coming out of pit lane. That's unfortunate. Something that we don't see very often happen. Blake Wachowski also jumped back to pit lane at the same time. So at the moment, we're going to have 9 possibly on the lead lap.
And why Wachowski's had to come back down pit lane. He's lost a couple of laps as well. He was running with Lewis in the 07 earlier. All of a sudden, he's not anymore. Now, sometimes the pace truck gets quite confused as to who to pick up when the caution comes out just after you've gone past it. Thankfully, this time it looks all right. Last time I was doing a race at Iowa in NASCAR Next Gen. NASCAR Xfinity Series it was, and the pace truck effectively picked up 3rd place, and the 2 leaders eventually were at the front of the train, but not long enough before the green flag was flown. So effectively, 1st and 2nd place started with a 10-second head start over everybody else because it got so confused.
And that was the pace truck.
Yep. That wasn't manual people doing it. That was iRacing doing it.
How did it do that?
I have no idea, but it always does get a bit confused when you've either just passed the pit lane or you're about to, and the caution flies like it did there, because it exits the pit lane always as soon as the caution flies, and if it enters the circuit when it's sort of halfway down the field, if you like, it sort of gets a bit confused and picks up the wrong driver as we see who makes a pit stop this time around. Doesn't look like anyone from the lead laps coming in.
No, it doesn't this time around. I'd be very surprised if they would, to be blatantly honest with you. I wouldn't have thought they would go into the pits just yet.
Here's a thought. If you're at the back of the field, Hess has got damage probably, so he's in anyway. But if you're at the back of the field, come in this time round, stay out after the stage, and then you can lead afterwards.
Yep. That would be the right thing to do. But
nobody's done it, though.
Nobody's done it. So there we go.
Nice. Thanks very much for that.
It's what it is. What are we supposed to do about it?
Okay. I guess they're concerned about the fact that, if there is a long green flag run at the end, you might not make it home, staying out from this stage right to the very end. But even that I would dispute, to be honest. They should be able to make it from here, but never mind. They've decided to stay out. Now, I think a great story here today is going to be Christian Mullen and where he can get to at the end of the day. Started 15th. He's now in 10th, and he's on to just the 1 lap down. Now, as long as Hess doesn't get on to just 1 lap down with him and start to battle him for the free pass, then he's going to be on the lead lap here after the stage. And he could really make an impression on the lead lap here after a long pit stop and dropping multiple laps down earlier. Yeah,
he's done really well. And that's all just from keep going, isn't it? Keep plodding along, keep going. And that's what Mullen's done. So fair play to him, up 5 places, currently in 10th. So a good job from Mullen on that one. He's just going to see now, and whether or not he should. Where is Hess? Oh, Hess is just coming out.
I think Hess is, yeah, that's all right though. Hess
still
is on the lead lap, so that won't affect Mullen.
No.
There you go. So I think Hess, because he's so far ahead of the pace car, I actually think Hess has been able to get through all of his optionals there, and he's got a clean car. We'll see whether that comment proves to be rubbish or not in a few moments' time when we go green again. But I reckon because he came out so far in front, he was clearly, well, I'm done here, so let's get on with it. And he's decided to make his way out onto the circuit again. He'll rejoin at the very back.
Yeah, he will, but then in about 3 laps' time, we're going to be under yellow again.
Yeah,
stage break.
But I don't see why you'd come out earlier than you need to.
No. I think he must have got his repairs done.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, I think so. So 3 to go until the stage. This is going to be quite lively, I suspect, on the way towards lap 80 before the points are awarded.
Yeah, but we've got Parker and Lax sitting side by side, haven't we? They've got the option of absolutely dominating that top lane at the moment. They can literally dominate this stage run just by being where they are and staying where they are.
They could, but it's not going to be too easy. There's going to be people trying to disrupt that, and if they really gang up on them on the outside, for example, when they finally get together again, then there is time for them to to overcome that deficit. But let's see here. I do think it's going to be either Lax or Parfitt who take the playoff points and indeed the stage victory here at the end of the stage. Because Parker's got only the one win, I suspect if they were really greedy and coordinating this between the two of them, they might try and let the 9 car take the playoff points because it's further behind as of right now in playoff points. But Owen Lax hasn't actually got very many more. He did win the first stage, though. I reckon they might try and share this out if they're being greedy.
You reckon?
If possible. But
okay.
Obviously, that's if they're choosing, but they might not get the choice.
I've never seen racing drivers be kind to each other.
Well, that is true. We'll see whether they are kind to each other or... They're not going to race each other, but let's see. Well, they might do. We'll find out. As Lax now gets it underway from the outside, and immediately Parker lets him in, and there you go. So 3 to go in the stage. Who is going to challenge them now as the front 4 gets single file?
Yeah, well, if it's going to come from anywhere, it's got the option of coming from Klein, hasn't it? Klein's got to be pushed there. Him and Lewis need to work together and to push them to pass. They want to... You've got to catch them 2 out up front. That's the thing. You've got to catch them out. You've got to make a move that they're not expect. You've got to go high. When they go high, come back down into the middle, into the bottom straight away. Because otherwise, as soon as you start making that move, they're going to want to cover you. There you go. He's going to cover you now. He thought about it because he thought you would go in. Now you want to look at putting your car underneath him and staying as close as possible. You've got to be smart trying to push Parker and Lax out of this stage breaks.
How are they going to block here? Is Parker and Lax going to try and block here in a sort of double file blocking style or not? You can see him just weaving around, and so far with 2 to go, no real outside line forming. Harness just dropped off the back here at the moment just to make sure he stays clean here, as has Belanti, who are both multiple laps down and trying to stay out of trouble here. But there's lots of lap cars actually involved in this, and they can very much play a role in the 8 lead lap drivers. Now, here we go. Outside line for Lewis on the backstretch.
Oh, no. Smashes back down again and thinks better of it. So, yeah, Lewis needs to be, if he needs to get a run, he needs to go with them. But I don't think this is going to make a difference, to be honest. I think Lax is going to take this one.
I think so. 1 lap to go in the stage as we reach lap number 80 here in the FireWorks 250. 40 from the finish at the end of this stage, but Lax so far is getting no challenge. It's been such a chaotic race so far with lots of damaged cars that others might have been a bit frightened of damaging their own car here. Or are they leaving it late? Yes, they are. Here we go. Lewis gets on the outside line now. Klein could have done that earlier, and now he can't get out there. He can't get out in the 5 car, and now immediately it's demoted to place. The 73 gets down low and just in front of Klein. Now he's going to get a super run out of 4, and maybe he's going to try and take the stage here. On the outside line, Parker goes and blocks him. He now pulls to the inside in the 73 car. Lax is now just going to dictate from the bottom here. He's going to stay on the bottom side, and he's going to win stage 2.
Yeah, but the interesting thing there is I think Lewis actually got that. I think Lewis got that second place there. That run down to the line, close. I think he did get him.
Was very. I couldn't tell from the real-time pictures, to be honest with you. It was very, very close. But good driving from Lewis. I mean, even if he didn't, he still got 3rd ahead of Klein because of what he did on the back straight. Yeah.
And he did it well as well. Klein should have gone with him. I think they could have worked that a little bit better. I think Klein should have gone with him, but they didn't. And, well, Lewis managed to grab it. I still think he got that second place, to be honest, but we'll see.
Although, having said that, I don't know whether... if Klein had gone with him, whether that would have just meant that Parker would have come up earlier and they all would have just been in a line with one another. You know, I don't know, but it certainly seemed to me that might be the way that it would end. Never mind. They make their way over the line again, and they'll pick up the pace truck in a few minutes' time, and we'll see who comes into the pit lane. I'm imagining everyone on the lead lap will make their way in. Hess and Witkowski are still in pit lane, by the way, and Palmer is as well, repairing damage for the second time today, although it looks like to me Palmer is out of the race. Yeah, in 16th place. So that is a shame for MJ Palmer, who will now drop from that position in the points. 116 above the cut line going into today. He's a little bit nervous over those last few rounds, but he should be okay to make the playoffs.
Well, hopefully, yeah. But I think we're going to see now who's going to go where and who's going to go into the into pit lane, to be honest with you. I think MJ should be okay. Todd's not here, who could possibly match him, but I think he should be all right.
Yeah, I think the real concern for those drivers who are making it in on points at the moment is the prospect of Travis Butt and Bobby Rafferty getting themselves in the top 25 and rocketing up into the playoffs suddenly because they've won races. That's going to be a real concern for everybody else in this season, I think, especially the likes of Aaron Esp and also Brock Whiteman, who are the last two making it in on points at the moment. They'll be pretty nervous about that as leading them in. Lax is onto pit lane. I wonder who stays out here. It'll only be lap drivers, I suspect, who stay out onto the circuit. Hahn's in again because he's got a lot of damage still. Looks like Mullen is the one who stays out, is he?
No, they're all in.
Is it Vellante or Bo?
Yeah, it is Mullen. Mullen is the only one. And Vellante.
He's going to get the free pass anyway. I don't know why he didn't come in there, but never mind. He was getting himself around, and then he'll get himself into the pit lane, and he will be on the lead lap.
Yep. And then we've got a straight run to the end. So let's see how they get on for the final stage here, whether or not they're going to be able to get there without any dramas.
Oh, Lax has had a long stop here. So Lewis out first. And look at this. Lax having a very long stop in the box. Wow. 30 seconds nearly for Owen Lax, who is going to be waiting. And there he goes. Wait for Parker. They'll start 7th and 8th. So just 7 seconds and 2 tyres for Lucas Lewis. Then a normal 4-tyre stop for Coulson, Clyde, Moyer, War, Lewis in the top 6. Then John Parker and Owen Lax, who take nearly 30 seconds each and drop to the back, with Christian Mullen joining them from the rear as well.
Yeah, I am surprised if that was a team choice there for Lax and Parker. I do wonder if that was a team choice to do that. There's no other reason to do it, is there?
Exactly. I was just about to say, there's no other reason why they'd have such a long stop. And I don't remember them picking up any damage at any point tonight, so I guess they haven't managed to pick up damage. All the pump drafting, I suppose, might have done something, but I doubt it really.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have thought that would actually do anything, to be blatantly honest with you. I would have been very surprised if that was the case, but I think, to be honest, it will be just a decision. Did they take 4 tyres, I would have thought, and go in for it? But let's see how this one pans out. But Lucas Lewis will lead us away.
It's like it, yeah, and for how long here as the lights go off here and they decide what line to take? It says he's in the pit lane. We can see that's not true. We'll see how long this lasts. I mean, is this going to be a tactic from Parker and Lax to think, well, we've been trying to split up by so many drivers so far. Let's go to the back, sort of sort ourselves out together, then start to move forward after that. As Hess is showing out the race, by the way, at the moment.
I don't know if he. No, he is.
He is.
He is out.
Wow. That's a big surprise.
Mm.
And damaging as well. So on a day where he could have really gained on Aaron Esp, he's going to lose.
Yeah, he's out. That's it. Which I am surprised about. If he couldn't have got it repaired, or if there was massively long repairs, then I understand it. But if you've got sort of 4 or 5 minutes and you've got a chance of coming back out, then...
Well, there might have been long repairs. I don't know. He was in there for over a minute. Maybe saw the repairs and thought, no, I'm not going to continue on here. I'm not going to get anywhere.
Mm. Yep, I agree. Also a possibility, dear sir. Also a possibility.
Well, just don't know for the moment. So we'll see as we head to Darlington next week, just where he can get to in this season. Can he make the playoffs? It's going to be very close indeed. And then it's going to be very exciting indeed to see what happens when we get to the round of 16, as always. As with 36 to go, we're set to go back green again. It's going to be a very interesting restart and a very telling, I think. Is it going to be a yellow interrupted final stage, or is it going to be a run initially, green flag, and then a late caution and a late run, or a long run to the finish? We'll wait and see here in the FireWorks 250 as we get 36 laps to go. Coulson versus Lewis on the front row. The outside line, just 3 of them as things stand, with lots of lap cars involved as well. Now 9 on the lead lap, though. We get underway again. Lewis controlling the pace at the front. and gets us underway immediately with Klein in second and Coulson slipping into third ahead of Moyer in fourth.
Yeah, Moyer just slipped straight back in again at the same time. John Waugh's all the way up there. Oh, Parker almost had a run. Almost. Lax is in behind. And then you've got the 90... Is that the 90? 82? The black. 82, Stephen Gill in behind that one. So, yeah, they're going to be trying to push each other along here. Ooh. Mullin doesn't want to lose this. Yeah, doesn't want to lose the draft too early for Mullin. He really needs to stay with them as best he can. But they're all single file.
That is maybe the best thing for the moment here, with still a long way to go. They want to just knock off some of these laps remaining because there are quite a lot to go, and then race for it late on here. We're not even at that 100 yet, as moving to the outside line there in the 3 car goes Aaron S. Look at that, he's making some moves here, trying to get past Valente. Look at that, right on the outside of Moyer for 4th place, showing what he can do here tonight. Going to be moving up to 12th place as he passes Hess here in the race, and he sees the prospect of more positions. Look at this. He is motoring on the outside line on his own here. It's the lack of pressure of being on the lead lap is helping. But now all of a sudden through the corner he could be hung out to dry. Nobody really wants to go up and help a lap car.
No, they wouldn't, to be honest with you. They would have stayed there. He has got a little bit of help now.
Oh, yeah, they want to be helped.
That's Klein, isn't it? Then Klein's going to come back down into the front here, so they've gone and rotated the position around. But 33 on the clock at the moment. And the Parker and Lax still down in 7th and 8th. I say that like it's miles, but they're literally just there.
Yeah, at what point are they going to make their move? They look like they're just running around at the back at the moment, waiting for the big one. I haven't really seen one of those yet. We saw a 4 or 5 car incident about 2/3 of the way through stage 1. But other than that, it's been 2 or 3 car incidents, if not less, in this race. And so maybe they are waiting for that. I always think in these races... Oh, there you go! There's the contact! The 29 car into the wall. Waugh again, stay straight, and we stay green for a moment. And now we go yellow.
I am surprised they did that. I thought the fact that Waugh was still running may have allowed him to keep going, but I think poor old Waugh just been spending the whole race getting all of his damage repaired, and now I think he's gone and might have copped some more.
Yeah, I think so. Looks like he has done exactly that, spending his whole race round at the repairs, and now he's going to come in again. Because that steering wheel is dead straight, that suggests to me his front right suspension is absolutely broken.
I think it's on the floor.
I don't think that wheel will be turning very much, actually.
No, I think that is. He's got it down to the front right.
That's good turning.
Oh, there you go.
That is not turning well. That's a vibration. That'll send your fillings all over the place. You'll need some new ones after this.
But that's where the problem lies.
Indeed. I'm not a mechanic, but that is not...
it's not attached. The ball joint at the bottom, top left. No, it's not attached. It's broke. Broke.
It is still turning, at least. I thought it would be just skidding along the ground, to be honest, but still turning. Not doing too much damage. Oh, yeah, look at that. The camber is all out of place. It's very, very tilted tyre there. So we're into pit lane. Real shame for Waugh there. But these are the kind of things that are going to happen on the end of this race, on the run towards the end. We see some pit stops from the leaders as well. Lax and Parker splitting themselves apart by the looks of it. Rosali.
Parker stayed out. Lax went in, which is a bit of a shock. They've been running side by side all night, so I am shocked by that. But sure, there's reasons. There's always reasons with people, isn't there, why they're doing things. But, yeah, I'm a little bit miffed by that one.
A little bit annoyed.
Why are you annoyed?
Oh, I'm asking you why you're annoyed. Is that what that means?
No, I'm not annoyed by it. I'm just a little bit confused by it. They've run round for the whole race together, right?
I didn't think that word meant confused.
What, miffed?
Yeah.
Yeah, miffed is confused.
Oh, it was annoyed.
No,
okay,
no, it's confused.
I'll Google it. But
Go on then. You have a Google.
it's someone in the wall back there. Did I just see someone hit the wall out of two? Or am I going a bit... Someone is scraping the wall back there. What are they doing? That Coulson? It's like it is. Just scraping the wall for absolutely no reason. He's not got damage on his wheel or anything, but I swear I saw him scraping himself down the wall, but like an elephant trying to scratch their back. What the hell was going on there?
Maybe he was scratching his back. I don't know. Maybe, possibly. Who knows? I don't know why you would be doing that, though. I'm sure that might have just been our eyes. You not think? May have been? There's no reason for him to do that, is there?
No, I can't explain that one at all, I'm afraid. So that one will have to remain a mystery. As he drops to the back of the lead lap. Is War going to try and persevere and stay on the lead lap here, or is he just going to think, well, I need to get myself damage repaired before I do anything else? Coulson now does indeed pit in, as does Hahn, who is doing this thing again where he pits as we're going to green, which I don't think is a very good idea, but he's only one lap down now. If there's one more caution, he'll be on the lead lap.
And the thing is, for poor old John Moore, he's been in there for 2.5 minutes already. So, yeah. He got some more damage, hasn't he? But 30 laps to go.
Yep, 30 still remaining. Can we get to the end under green? I would suggest probably not, but we can live in hope. With 30 to go in this race. Still 7, I would say, in full contention at the moment. War indeed does go a lap down. Coulson, having made a pit stop, maybe is in contention as well. I just don't know what he was doing on the back straight there, which is concerning me. But if he is involved, then it'll be 8 here on the lead lap, racing up front. And Lewis there weaving around. Maybe he hit the wall, but anyway, certainly weaving around just to try and get some tyre temperature in at the moment. And then he'll be in control of getting us under green here in a few moments' time. We'll see whether Parker and Lax can finally get themselves together here. Looks like they have done on the outside line. Can they stay there on the restart, though?
Well, that's going to be the thing, isn't it? How are they going to manage this now? How are they going to take control of this race when we've got 30 to go? It's going to be very, very tough indeed.
Certainly is. So it's going to be a long run home. Yeah, it's certainly going to feel like that. Anyway, 7 laps led so far for Lucas Lewis. I think the most laps led still goes to Owen Lax right now, although he's not led for a while in this race. Only a short while, of course, but a little while regardless. As he now gets close up with everybody else here on the lead lap. And they get ready to go racing again. 30 to go here in the FireWorks 250. Lewis versus Moyer on the front row. Lucas Lewis on the outside line, looking to get us back to green again. And here we go, lap 90 completed. And Parker, who missed initially, pushes Lewis into the front and now goes to the low side. Lewis wants to follow him, but no, doesn't want to risk it, doesn't want to get spun across the nose of the 9 car, which is going to get to the lead.
Yeah, they played that perfectly, didn't he, Parker? And now Lax did not be able to get there and go with him. Now Lax is stuck behind Lewis. It's a choice to make now whether or not he stays there or not. But at the moment, Parker, Moyer and Lewis all doing a great job. You see Klein still trying to make moves as well. Pulls out of that bottom line and heads up into the top lane as we've got 29 to go.
Moyer around the outside. And indeed, they have managed to split apart the teammates here. I wonder whether they have agreed between them just to race for themselves now after looking after each other early on. Now to the outside, look at this, almost 3 wide, and we are 3 wide. Klein on the very outside line, Parker on the inside, and Moyer through the middle. He's entered a bit of a vacuum here, a bit of a black hole, and he's going backwards. Now he's finally going to be getting himself up to the outside line and through. So he's at least back into the safety of either side, but he is a bit further back than where he was on the front row for this restart.
Yeah, but at least he's still with them. He could have been a lot worse off, couldn't he? Let's be real about it. As soon as he started going out and then losing that draft that everybody just strung him out with, he kind of ended up getting himself back in there for the 6 cars. So Moyer there was quite lucky to be able to stay there because they could have put him all the way to the back.
Well, luckily there was a gap for him to get into. He continues on. Still 8 in this lead lap and this lead group here. Hahn is involved as well, so he's just hoping for a caution at the moment, and then he'll be back on the lead lap as well. War still in pit lane at the moment as Berlanti, Espen, Gill try and gain another place. Rikowski still in pit lane at the moment, down at the back. He's been there for 25 minutes. He's dropping back in 15th place. Douglas Hess is out of the race. Down on the low side there. Who's that going backwards on the inside line? Might not be one of the leaders, to be fair, but just getting out of the way of the others. Lots of movement here with 27 to go at the line.
Yeah, there is. And now it's Jocelyn. You see Parker's now picked Lax up again. So they're going to make their motor forward. Now, what I would have done if I was Klein and Lewis is split that bottom line off and literally one take top, one take bottom and force them to try and send it free wide or follow it through. But other than that, they're now going to get pushed by Lax and Parker again. They've got to bunch back up that bottom line. They cannot afford to let them get in.
And they are going to be so difficult to beat up there now, as Esp gets with them as well. So he's helping along, and there you go. Down on the low side now. Now they are very much dictating this race with Esp on the very outside line. Parker at the very front, and then Lewis in that third place on the inside line. How's he going to get anywhere here as the outside line loses all momentum? Esp, with no one to help him, is going backwards here. And Parker is going to lead this race over the line for the 24th time today.
Yeah, it's really hard because nobody else in there seems to have any friends. You know, nobody seems to be able to work together or have friends with it. You can see Parker and Lax working together, but Lewis and Klein just are not. And Moyer and Coulson are not. Or nobody's really teaming up and saying, right, let's play. I'll play with you. Come on, we'll go and challenge them. And they're not really doing that.
So all right to be single file just for the moment. I think, well, I said this last run, didn't I? But they just want to knock off some of these laps here before they get really towards the racing at the very end. But it is the busiest end of the race now, and so they're not going to want to leave it too long, like they did at stage 1, for example. Well, they waited really on that last run to 5 laps to go before they started to battle away. It's not going to happen this time around either, as we hit 25 to go officially. 95 down. It's 25 to go here at Daytona. Parker leading ahead of Lax, Lewis, Klein and Moyer on the inside line. Bit of side-by-side a bit further back. Coulson and Lewis and Mullen. Mullen's not involved in this group, apologies, but Coulson and Lewis trying to get alongside Hahn and Esp as well. We're battling away with them. If they battle too hard here, they might well lose the front 5, which they can't really afford to do. But a couple of lap cards getting involved here in the battles going on.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised about that. Just stay in the line for a minute. Wall's coming back out, bless him. He's had a rotten afternoon. He got repaired, was on the lead lap, got everything sorted out, and then ended up going back in the pits again. Unfortunately for Wall, been a bit of a rough one. But yeah, for me, I would stay in a line for a minute unless you've literally got help on the outside. There's no point jostling for positions now. I think. Yeah, you're just putting yourself in danger of losing it altogether.
Oh my word, that was close. The 80, who is that? Looked like 85, but that's not a number. So somebody up high there anyway. Very close to disaster on the outside line. Was that Berlanti maybe? Maybe it was 35, not 80, but yeah, it was. There you go. Got into the outside wall slightly, but we stay green.
Yeah, we do. We've got 23 to go now. Parker, Lax, Lewis, Klein all out in front. Be interesting to see how they go about this. Who's going to be able to take the victory here? Is it going to be one of these two from Parker Motorsport, or is somebody else going to be able to challenge them? I am surprised that nobody else has given these two a go.
Well, there has been plenty of other leaders here, and there's been a bit of a go, but it's very difficult to overcome two people who are so organised at the front of this race at the moment. I mean, if somebody goes to the outside here, like the 73, for example, then Lax is just going to go up and block, and if he needs to, Parker is going to do the same as well.
But they've got to go up there, like him, Klein and Moyer have got to go up and leave them two out on their own. Go up together. You know, all 3 of you, 4 of you. Leave them out there. Because then they've got to make a choice to either split or to try and block the run or what. But they're not. Let's see what happens with 5 to go, and we'll see if they give them any options here or any decisions to make, because at the moment, they're not.
Kind of what I mean, really. I mean, even if they do that, then they're going to be blocked by the front two, and that will just be the end of that. So it's going to be very difficult. Of course, you can't block absolutely everything. If there's attacks flying in from left and right and centre, then they're going to find it a bit more difficult. But that's very difficult to coordinate between people, and it makes a bit of a lottery between the rest of them, and maybe an accident as well. So we'll see here with 21 laps to go. Still 7 in this front group. Mullen's worked so hard to get up to the front group. He's now lost it again. He's running around at the back at the moment with some lap drivers. Volante has come into the pit lane after scraping himself down the wall. Espe is now through, and Gill, I think, is about to get himself back through again into 12th place. And there he goes. Through, is it? Or is it one more lap? No, he needs one more.
One more.
Get through.
But Espe's there with, what's Espe at the moment? 11 laps back. Then we've got Parker, Lax, Lewis, Klein, Moyer. What did I say? 6 on the lead lap? We've only got 7.
I got 8, but yeah, we're getting closer.
Oh yeah, 8, sorry.
Yeah, Muller's just not in this group at the moment. Been replaced by a couple of lap drivers instead, running around at the back. There is Volante. Back out onto the circuit again, not that far ahead of Gill. So we'll keep an eye on that one. See if there's a restart. They'll be battling away, I would imagine, for 12th place. There's someone trying to get on the outside line of Hahn there, just trying to get something going. I think that was Lewis in the 07, but couldn't get anywhere. With 19 to go at the line. Pushing towards the corners, just begun, as Lax there was right in the back of his teammate through turn 3 there.
But that's where he's got to be, isn't he? That's where he's got to be there. He's got to be right in behind him. You know, they've got, they got 101, we're 19 to go now. So it's slowly knocking the laps off. They want to try and just get this down to final 5, final 10, and then get it moving and then see how this one plays out. But at the moment, I can't see the two guys apart. Parker Motorsport, to be honest with you.
No, it's pretty difficult to see at the moment how they can ever get through. Although there's still quite some time to go. Bringing some laps together here out front in single file. It just shows how much easier it is when they're running around like this, to be honest, in single file. So much easier to log the laps and just knock off some of the laps in the race, because realistically it's not important to be leading with 20 laps to go here. You might as well just not try and cause cautions and then come back a little bit late to try and launch and attack. It really doesn't matter who leads the race just for this moment. Sparker gets a big shove into turn 1 by Lax, who very nearly stacks up the entire field. They get back together again through turn 2. Out onto the straight, and still they remain absolutely locked together, absolutely single file.
Yeah, but as you say, you can lead at lap 18, but if you're not leading on the last final lap and you put yourself in a wall, what's the decision worth going for? This is the thing. They've got to now really just sit in there and then get to 10. And then maybe start having a wiggle, having a go, moving up, moving down, whatever you're going to do. But this far out, 17 to go, stay where you are.
They certainly are for the moment. These laps are going to go by very quickly towards the end, by the way. Last time round, they did a 46.4. A little bit slower than what we've seen in the past when they're absolutely racing side by side. But even so, it is a quick pace. Coulson's in danger of falling off the back here. Hahn just pulled high as well, letting Lewis through. So Hahn and Esp have just dropped to the back of the group, and I wonder whether these two have agreed now. Let's run round at the back of the group. Let's stay with these guys just for the benefit of our race, but let's not get involved in the leading battle here.
Yeah, they don't really need to, do they? That's the thing. They don't really need to get involved in it. They've just got their own little battle to work on and see how they get on here. But I think for now, for these two, why are you up there so high, Josh? Why are you so high?
It's letting people through, as I say.
Yeah, letting people go through.
Don't want to be involved in this leading group, and there's lap cars coming up here as well, just up in front of these guys. So this is where it gets interesting. I suppose they'll need to stay single file for this bit, and then they'll get double file on the exit of this, perhaps, and they battle away with 15 to go. There's a lot of speed being lost by Volante at the moment, and he's been passed by Gill. I suspect. Oh, and he's on the apron. That's why. Getting out the way, and already there's some movement in the background. So Are they going to get through here cleanly, 3 wide? We always see this with lap traffic. It does provide some action, and not all of it great. Here we go in towards turn 1. He's going at a decent speed here, Gil, to be fair to him. Even though he is on his own, he might be able to stay with these guys once they roll on past, but they're side by side further in the background here. He's trying to stay up high as much as he can. Now then, here we go. He's going to be dealt with on the straight, which might just help them here. Although he is going to be swept in. He's going to be taken in by the group almost as the front 3 get away a little bit here. There goes Gil. He's now demoted to the back of the group, and that was well negotiated by everybody.
Yeah, they did a great job, didn't they? They kind of made sure he didn't get himself involved, and he just stayed there, and fair play. It was a nice pass, but however, for Klein, Espy's got to go and give him help. He hasn't got any help out there at the moment. Klein runs out high, and then unfortunately, Espy goes with him. So he's quite fortunate for Klein because he kind of got strung out like a kipper.
Here we go through 1 and 2 again. 5 car of Klein leading the line. Espy is not taking Hahn's strategy of running around at the back and avoiding any involvement in the group, along with Gil. Instead, he's getting involved. Here is Espy on the outside line, just ahead of Coulson. Towards 3 and 4. Now the racing's properly on. 14 to go this time round, 13 at the line. And this is where the race is properly on now. Everybody's racing for the win here.
Yeah, this is the moment now. This is their one moment to make the opportunity. And how are they going to deal with this? How are they going to get? Are they going to start going, muscling their way through?
Oh.
You can see Lewis muscled his way through past Lax. I don't know how he...
On the outside, here we go. He's getting some good progress here. So can he get that final push over the line by Klein, or is Lax going to just allow Parker to get back through again here? Here we go. The 5 car needs to get into the back of the 73 here, and he's not doing it. There goes the 88 into the back of Parker. He's going to get his lead back again.
Yeah, he is. They didn't quite get the push on the high side, did they? And unfortunately, Lewis did all of that thing. He opened the gap. He slowed them all down, but then unfortunately just did not get that push upwards. And now he's gone back again. They need to lock in again, them 4, to see if they can push forward once more.
Over the line, 12 to go. Parker holds strong on the low side. That was a decent attempt from Lewis, I've got to say, in the 73, just to try and split up those 2 and get through. But in the end, he didn't quite have that final push from Klein on the back straight there to get the position. And now he's been replaced by a number of other drivers who are going to give it a go next.
Yeah, you've got the 07 of John Lewis. He's on there now. He's got Lucas pushing him. Klein's come off there. Moyer's come off as well. So it's just them 2 on the outside line here. They could do with some help from that 28 machine. Who's that? Kenneth Coulson's got to go and push him along as well. So, yeah, they've got to try and make... It's going to be really difficult here. But... Oh, don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
3 wide. 3 wide back in the pack, and he just lifts off there. John Lewis, a good idea, given that was going on the outside line. He's just going to regroup here, regather. Well, the advantage is that these guys know that it's not absolutely last chance at the moment. They know that if it gets a little bit too scary, they can just lift off for a moment, get back in line, and come back again later on here with 10 to go at the line. Yeah,
that's the thing now. You've got to make sure that you can not get yourself bullied out. You've got to stay in it. Coulson, Lewis, Hahn has even got to catch on to the back at the same time. But it's now going to be, you need to be in this front 5 group. You need to be in the front 5 to really try and make a difference towards the end of this race.
Still the front 2 are dictating this from the front as somebody getting up pretty high there through turn 1. Still 7 in this leading group from the lead lap who are properly involved in the race win here perhaps. Mullen has fallen off the back end of the lead lap here. Might well finish 8th. If they gets caught, then Hahn might pass him for that position, though, because he is still involved in the 90 car in this front group, and he's been hoping for a caution for these last 20 laps, to be honest with you, but he's not getting one for the moment. If there was to be one, he would be back on the lead lap fighting for the win with these guys in the green and yellow you can see in the background. Here goes Klein on the outside line of Moyer. Is he going to get anywhere? Is he going to get some help here? Now the 73 is going to repay the favour. The 5 was in the... Oh, he's pushing for the tribal. Wow, that was a big save from Klein.
Yeah, and then he slots back in and he decides that I've had enough of that. I'm getting away from him. And he does pull straight away from Lucas Lewis. Lewis is now all of a sudden tucking himself in. That leaves Coulson on the high side with Espy in there. And Aaron Espy still's managed to keep up with the group, which is great to see, but we're on 9 to go now, and it's all getting a little bit feisty out there.
Certainly is. That was a big save from Klein, pushing through the triangle. There was number 73. Got to be careful of that, that's for sure. I'm now just trying to push anybody who wants it, really, through the outside line. Holson, the latest to give it a go. Now the 73, he's looking racy here, Lewis. He's looking like he wants to go for this. Espy's going to give him some help as well here. So one of the lap cars going to get involved into it towards turn 1. Gives him a bit of a shove with 8 to go here. That's the kind of thing you can get away with later on in the race. Just take those extra risks. There goes the 88. Oh, he's close. Contact again. The big one's going to happen on the back straight. So many involved. Klein's going to spin round. The 88's in the wall. And they just about get away with it for the most part. But goodness me, that was a big accident on the back straight.
Yeah, it was. But that was all because there was a pretty late block coming up there. And unfortunately, it did cause dramatics. So, them guys there, they got caught. We haven't got a caution, have we? Are we under caution? Yes, we are. So yeah, I think we'll have a look back at that one after, but I got a funny feeling that might have been a little bit of a late block that may have caused that, but we'll have a look back just for sure.
I think that was a late block from the 88, to be honest. Lax, Lewis, Coulson, Klein all into pit lane immediately, which suggests they've got quite a lot of damage, and that could leave us with a lot less drivers on the lead lap and indeed in contention for the win. Mullen's going to be in contention all of a sudden. Hahn will be as well, getting the free pass. So there will be at least those two rejoining. However, has Mullen got the car to compete, or did he drop off because he didn't previously? And have the others got the repairs available to them to compete in these final 5 laps or so when we go green as well?
This is the thing, isn't it? What sort of condition your car are in. We've had quite a few cautions, we've had quite a few incidents, and now it's all about trying to get to the end. It's great to see David Moyer up there. I don't really feel David's been involved in too much this evening. I haven't seen him be too dramatic with stuff. Not that I can remember.
He's been causing carnage, clearly. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I agree. I think he's been pretty quiet so far, and there comes Lax, by the way, into pit lane to repair some damage as well. I think that crash has actually, compared to the amount of damage it's done to different drivers, I think that crash was quite unspectacular compared to, as I say, the damage that it's actually done.
And I think it was probably a little bit unnecessary. Just maybe a little bit unnecessary.
Well, you could argue all crashes are unnecessary, but yeah,
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but you can get the build up for that. That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's, you know, late race blocking, late race pushing, kind of thing is likely to happen. So, is it going to be a run to the end from here, or are we going to get some later race cautions? Indeed, this is going to be a very short run there, but that last one was probably the most encouraging, I think, exciting of the race, actually. The nice build up towards a nice bit of double file racing, some, you know, aggressive blocking, aggressive pushing, but that's okay at this end of the race after a decently long green flag run. I think that was probably the best run of the race. Yeah,
I think you might be right. I think you're right. It was, to be blatantly honest, without a shadow of a doubt. It stayed green for quite a while. So now we've only 6 to go here. It's going to be decision time. Who does what, does where, does what goes on. Because at the moment, there's still people in pit lane, and they have been for a little bit of a while. So how many are we going to end up on lead lap? I said 6. I don't even know if we're going to have that.
No, maybe not. Hahn should get that lap back. Did he go past? It doesn't look like he's gone past, does he? Yeah. Oh, maybe he will now, actually. As the lights go off on the pace car, he'll go past now, and then he'll join the back of them. So, yeah, might only be 5. Lax is spending a long time back in pit lane there. So, is he going to repair all his damage and think, well, I might as well just repair it all and get to finish? I kind of think at this end of the race, even if your car's really quite damaged, just get out there and finish the race. I mean, you're not going to lose very many laps by running around with a damaged car. You know, if you stay in there and repair all your damage, then the guys like War and whatever could end up passing you. But if you get out there immediately, get out on the circuit, then you might be all right. As Lax now still in pit lane, is he going to get out in time? Klein is coming out again. They've both just made it. Goodness me. I think you're going to be right with 6. Klein and Lax just about get out there in time.
Yeah, they did. You just saw him run round now. At the moment, he's got a lap to get back on. He should be able to catch back up again. So we'll see how Owen Lax gets on here and in that 88. There's Klein out at the same time. They both had to get out before the pace car went by them, and they did just manage it. So it's now just a full bore go, 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 get onto the end of the line, ready to go for the 5 to go.
They're going to try and help each other do that hit. Olsen and Lewis continue to stop in pit lane. I don't think they should just get out there and finish the race on the circuit here. Try and get whatever points they can, even if they're a little bit damaged. I wonder what the rules are about bump drafting under caution. Can you bump someone along to go a bit quicker? Sure.
If it helps you get back onto the back of the pack, why not?
I think so, yeah. And I wonder what line they're going to choose when they get there as well here, because they don't quite have the choosing in the same way that the others do out front, but they'll catch back up here, and we'll see what effect they're going to have on the rest of this race now, with still plenty of cars running. Got at least 10 in the group, but only 6 of them on the lead lap at the moment. Out of the pit lane there comes Coulson. He's back onto the circuit, but he is 2 laps down in 8th place. Here we go.
You're going to be up and running very, very shortly. Jordan Parker in first, started 13th, up 12, 45 laps led from him. Mr. O'Leary, is he going to lead on that final one?
Well, that's the important thing. Leading when the checkered flag flies. Jordan Parker now in control of the field. It's Moyer alongside him in the sort of lime green. And just behind him, Esp in the 3 car, looking to try and push Lewis in the 07 on the inside line. As we go back green flag racing here with 4 laps to go in the FireWorks 250 at the NARAS Season 1 Cup Series. And they make their way in towards turn number 1. Side by side, Esp is going to play a role here, pushing the 6 car already in towards turn 1 and 2 as Parker gets a bit of a march over the others. He's led most laps so far today, I believe, and now he's blocking from the front, but he can't quite get in front of Moyer here. He's getting a big push from Esp on the back straight. Here he goes to the lead.
Yeah, he's got to be able to lock in now. There we go, 4 to go. And a great job from Moyer and Esp there. They did a great job between them. And now it's all about whether or not Esp is going to cover Moyer over to the end. What's going to happen here? And how is this dramatics going to make place? Is Owen Lax? He's a long way back at the moment. And it's not even going to be on contention. I don't think we're free to go.
Oh, he's a long way back for the moment. Here goes Esp again, pushing Moyer. Then it's Parker. Then it's Lewis in the 07 with 3 laps remaining. Through 1 and 2 they go. The field a lot smaller than it was earlier. Of course, a lot of lap drivers who are just tagging along here for the speed and so on. Here we go on the outside line. Parker's going to try and jump up here. Oh, a little bit of side-to-side contact there between Lewis and who was that making side-to-side contact with him? Not entirely sure, but at the moment he is getting shuffled backwards. Here is Lewis. He's got Hahn right behind him. Parker just tucks back into line again. Mullins on the march here, on the way through, but Esp is sort of in the way here. It's second position with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, 2 to go. You see Moyer out in front. He's got Esp pushing him along. Parker's in there. The 07 of Lewis is in there. Mullin is there. Lax is further back at the moment. But how is this all going to take shape here? Whether or not Moyer's going to get this win? Is Esp going to play his part? We've got 2 to go. Don't push him in the corner. Don't do that. You've got to. He's trying to lap it. You're on the. They don't have to let him up. I would not be letting him up.
Oh, no, he is just about going to get there. Wow, that was close for Parker. He was down below the double yellow, and that is not often a place you can find yourself getting anywhere good, I'm afraid. Here he goes on the outside line now. He's got to do something with Esp pushing Moyer to victory here. He's got to try and do something, and now he tucks into second place. He's got into that position with the white flag waving. 1 to go here at Daytona. Here they come on the outside line. Can they get anywhere with Moyer holding that low line? He can't really get alongside for the moment, Parker. Hahn is in the 90, just up in the outside line. He's 1 lap down in 7th place. Esp is a few laps down, many laps down, in fact, in the 3 car. In 3rd, and there's a big spin. Moyer's going to go round. Oh, no. Parker spins around Moyer, but looks like he comes back on the circuit, and it's a big crash on the back straight.
How did what?
Goodness.
Did it even go on there?
It's still going.
Who's actually in Lewis is broken. So Lax
Oh my
is...
word, and here he comes. Oh, Lax is coming through the field. Oh my goodness me. The entire lead lap almost has crashed. And on the very last lap of the race, no caution flies. Owen Lax is going to win from miles behind. Unbelievable, with a battered car. He's going to win this race at Daytona. Checker flag flies in the most remarkable circumstances. The big one happens on the last lap. No caution flag flies because it's the last lap. And Owen Lax picks up, comes through the wreckage to win the race. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that happened.
Unbelievable. How did that happen?
I don't know. Let's get the results up and then we will try and find how that one took shape, shall we? Because that was a bit of a wild ending.
Goodness me. Owen Lax wins the... Have you ever seen a result sheet like this at Daytona? I certainly haven't. Owen Lax wins the race by 3 seconds out of John Lewis, who had to, how do you say, a battered car towards the end, but who didn't? Joseph Klein was on the podium with them, with David Moyer, disappointed, I would imagine, to miss out on the win there. Jordan Parker finishes in the top 5. Christian Mullen, I think, had to tow and finishes a lap down. Joshua Hahn, at least, finished 1 lap down with them. Kenneth Colson, 2 laps down at the end there. Lucas Lewis finished ahead of John Ward just about. Aaron S was a big feature towards the end there. He got into 11th and actually strengthened his place for a top 16 in the points. Then it's Stephen Gill, who is in 12th place, Gino Volanti, and then those that didn't finish: Douglas Hess, Blake Witkowski, MJ Parler, Zachary Tyler, and Corey Brown. Normally, we go through the ring rating in chronological order, but I think we're going to skip to the end first. Yeah, that's it.
I think,
because, goodness me.
Yeah, I think we need to really skip straight here on purpose, because somehow this man got through all of what was going on here. Now, we really need to keep an eye out on Jordan Parker here, because I've got a funny feeling there may have been a main protagonist with this. And I got a funny feeling it came within Parker's machine. So if we was to go
there he goes. He rejoins and spins himself almost as he's trying to avoid.
Did he get... Hold on, there's a pattern.
Yes. Oh, no, netcode.
Massive.
That's how he slides around.
Watch this. Jeez.
Yeah, that's big.
Room all day.
That's Stephen Gill, by the way, who makes contact with him. And Lewis spins around from what would have been certain victory. Yeah. And here comes Owen Lax, not knowing, I mean, God knows what he saw on the back straight here. He would have been as scared as anybody. I bet he wasn't lifting, though. As he made his way down. Yeah, have a look at this. Look at that mess up front. No lifting so far. No lifting. No lifting. No need. They'll all slide over down to the back, down to the bottom. And here he goes. Oh my goodness, he didn't lift at all. He just flew straight through the middle. He knew exactly what was at stake. There's Chuck Lewis, and through he goes into the wind. He's got a battered car, couldn't run at racing speed, and he made it through to take the race win. I mean, that was the first lap he'd led in ages.
Yep, that was just absolutely insane. That was probably the most insanest thing we've watched for ages, because there is no way that this man should have even won that. It should have been remotely impossible for him. But he managed it. And he just...
Has anybody won a race with a battered car being pushed, bump drafted by 10th place who's 7 laps down before? I mean, remarkable, really.
Yeah.
Here it is. I mean, this avoidance in itself is amazing. Never mind the fact he's won the race. The fact he's avoided everybody there without lifting is a miracle, really.
It's just insane, isn't it? Absolutely insane. And then he just goes over the line like nothing happened. I don't even think I want to watch the rest of them back now, because I think that was just top dog. What's going to get any better than that?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, yeah. Feel free to show us any repost cautions you want to see again, but if not, then fair enough. And there's a lot of them. I can't remember how many cautions there were.
Yeah, there was quite a few.
Yeah.
So I think we won't overly worry too much about going through them all, because there was about 7 or 8. But yeah, I think, to be honest, that was the only one we really needed to see, wasn't it? Because that final one was a little bit dramatic, and how that guy come from 5th to 1st and won. So fair play to him.
Absolutely unbelievable, really. But that is it for the FireWorks 250. What a great race here at Daytona. Daytona delivering as always, and the championship rolls on. Next week we'll be live, of course, with the race from Darlington, 8th of February, and so Saturday night we'll be live again with that one. So make sure you join us for that live. Big thanks to everyone who's tuned in for this slightly delayed broadcast, but what a great event it has been. This has been the NARAS Cup Series here, round 13, the FireWorks 250 at Daytona. Owen Lax taking the victory, coming from a few seconds behind on the last lap after a huge smash on the back straight. What a fantastic finish to the race. I've been Neil O'Leary alongside James Parfitt. Until we see you at the weekend in Darlington, it's goodbye for now.